Perfect. Good idea.
Do you have
We are officially live, by the way.
do you have a power cord for your phone?
No, I got a full charge.
Okay.
I'll plug in if I need the 12 seconds and nobody's in here with me. I knew nobody liked me anymore.
Well, because the company's about to make a bunch.
Oh, 7 people. Wait, that's way more than 0.
Bunch of obnoxious noise. So.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
We had 7 people. We even already got a thumbs up, and I didn't even say anything.
That is a.
That's probably because I look pretty.
Oh, say hi, Jeremiah.
Hi, Jeremiah. Is Jeremiah in there?
That's the one that gave you the thumbs up.
Oh, what's Jeremiah?
Burton.
Oh, hello, Look-see. Hello, Eldon Butler. You know, if you flipped him around, it could be Elder Butlin. What? Jeremiah Burton, Tony Collette, John Blickenstaff. I am pretty. Nobody's ever confused me with being pretty.
Your eyes.
I am I'm content. Hey, freaks. I am totally content with being pretty for my age. Like, I think I'd do okay for 53. If this face was on a 25-year-old body, it would be hideous. Hello, Kenny.
I think on a 25-year-old body, you get a lot more.
The goat is in the house. Really? Where is he? Sidearm squad assemble.
You see, you're a Virgo, so then you're not a goat because you'd be like a Capricorn.
I don't even use those words. That's an insult to the human race. I don't lower myself. Hello, Michael Chandler. Wait, Michael Chandler? Wait, like the UFC fighter Michael Chandler? Gerald Mitchell, Fabian, best name so far, Fabian. Buzz Swan, peace and love, yo. Buzz Swan. Let's see, how is Boston? You've been there, Paul Revere's house, North Church, and that really old cemetery. There's a million old. They love dead people in New England. Oh my God! Like literally, like you go to New England, and everybody like wants a tombstone when they die. Like, I don't know. I'm not going to be in a graveyard. I know that. Well, I'm also not going to die thanks to cryogenics. Don't even get me started on my cryogenics rant. My head's going to be frozen in the Mojave Desert, right next to Ted Williams. They're going to bring us back together.
Michael Chandler says no, but they have the same birthday.
Oh, really? Him and Michael Chandler? Really? Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, I am not looking at the questions coming in. I'm going to wait to the questions that pop up because I can't keep up. Mr. Scott, that's so cute. I accept Mr. Scott.
Do you want a table for that coffee? I'm nervous you're gonna kick it over.
No, I won't kick the coffee over. I'll set it. I'll put it out of foot's reach.
Okay.
Let's see. So send some questions up. Oh, I got some big announcements. I made 2 big announcements today, by the way. How did I enjoy the Disc Golf Pro Tour event in Pittsburgh in North Boundary? Well, I had my best finish of the year. That was officially the last Disc Golf Pro Tour regular season tour stop, and I finished 11th place. So basically what I'm saying is if the season had gone on 5 more months, I'd pretty much be winning everything. But I just, I ran out of time. That's the narrative I tell myself. This is, hey, advice to all the old people watching. This is the best advice I have for being old. Lie to yourself and then believe the lies that you tell yourself. And you will absolutely be happier that way. This is the only way I've found that I can wrap my head around getting old because it works. Like Adrienne will tell you, I've never had a waitress that wasn't flirting with me. And I don't just say it. I thoroughly 100% believe it. And it's not because they're trying to get a tip. Like they all want me according to what I tell myself. And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm still young and handsome. Like, of course I am. I mean, every single waitress has the hots for me according to what I tell myself. Trust me. You'll thank me later. It works.
Oh, correction. You and Michael have the same birthday.
Oh, me and Michael Chandler?
Yeah.
Oh, August 29th, and Brody Smith. And Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Oh, yeah. I share a birthday with Michael Jackson, and then the next most famous person after me. I mean, well, when it comes to fame, it's me, Michael Jackson, Brody Smith, and then some like 13th century Pope. And then Michael Chandler, if you do something like,
right,
I don't know, like assassinate a world leader or something like that. Not that I'm suggesting it. Please don't kick me off the air, Facebook. I'm not suggesting that you do that. I'm just saying if you did that, you'd be more famous than the 13th century Pope who shares your birthday. It's science. Let's see, who else have I met in MMA wise? MMA fighters. I mean, Ben Askren. Ben Askren's like amazingly cool dude, and Julian Marquez, super cool dude, and he was the only other MMA fighter there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Julian Marquez is great. That guy's so funny. Ben Askren and I click though. He is, in my humble opinion, I think he's the second best trash talker in MMA. I actually got Conor McGregor as number 3 in terms of trash talking, which is kind of, easy to argue that Conor's number 1 because he drew the most money, but just personal taste, I got Conor at number 3. Chael Sonnen's number 1, but I never met him. But Ben Askren's the best. That guy's, he's cool AF. Remember Highland Springs in California? Yes, I still got the doubles course record out there. And I'll tell you something wild about the doubles record at Highland Springs. And I forget who it was. I shot it with one of the locals, like a local pro out there. We played doubles. It was glow doubles. And we shot 17 under for 18 holes in the dark. And if I recall correctly, we took 2 of my shots the whole round. But I distinctly remember shooting 17 down with him, and so I have the record out there. Of course, I remember House. That's where Ed Hedrick's place was. Thanks, everyone. Oh, show over.
That's the wrong thing. I was trying to
let's
make a new
see.
banner that says the complete disc golfer.
Are you gonna pull up the page?
No.
Oh, I can make the announcement. Why haven't I played with Bert Kreischer yet? Message Bert and tell him to get me on his damn podcast. I don't know what his problem is. What?
I said, don't be reading ahead.
Oh, I'm not reading ahead.
So now I have to take that out of the story.
Oh, really? Okay. You can put it back on. Just here to come and help free Scott Stokely. That is awesome. Well, thank you very much. Best $30 you ever spent. I appreciate that. What is the future of disc golf coverage, live or post-produced? It's 100% live. Sporting events get watched live. Joe Mez. So this is a tough thing because one of the major reasons for our sport's success, a big part of it has been Joe Mez. And now we've grown to a point where it's going to become more and more live coverage. And I'm hoping they don't lose out in part because of how good they were at doing what they did. I hope Joe Mez figures out a way to have a place in the sport. But I don't understand. Like, it's a sporting event. People don't watch the Super Bowl on Tuesday, not once they're used to watching it live. And live coverage on the Disc Golf Pro Tour has gotten good, and it's improving constantly and evolving. So it's a tough one. I mean, it has to go to live, but again, Joe Mez is fantastic. And of course, Gatekeeper and GK, those guys are fantastic. I hope there's a place for all the people that help build our sport. I don't want anybody closed out. Like, I love the Gatekeeper guys and GK. All of them.
Here we go.
Okay, you can pull it up. But don't tell me how. Let me announce it before you pull something up.
Oh, well, I don't know what you're saying.
Oh, okay.
Pull up what?
You have the class announcement?
The scroller, yeah.
Okay, so I got a couple announcements I made today. So excited about this. I just launched my next beginning of the next 6-month class, my online Become a Complete Disc Golfer class. Currently, at the moment, I'm teaching 6 online classes, 6 months long, on becoming a complete disc golfer. And, it was an experiment at the beginning, but they're going unbelievably well. I put so much effort into this. This online class is not like watch a video and then download something that says practice 25 of this, 25 of that, or like it's nothing like that. The 6-month class is 2 live classes every single month, which you can also watch recorded. But then you're also going to be included in a Discord channel where you're going to be able to communicate with not only the other students in your class, but me and the other trainers. I have 5 trainers, paid trainers, people that have gone through my classes that I've trained them in coaching, and myself. So there's a total of 6 people. And the biggest thing we do is form reviews, because as part of the class, you get unlimited numbers of form reviews. So can't put a cap on form reviews because everybody learns at a different pace. So as we're working on things, backhand form, sidearm, putting, utility shots, wind, rain, strategy, tournament preparation, mental game, etc., you're constantly going to be interacting with the group. But the form reviews are, backhand, sidearm, and putting mostly. You post, you get reviewed, you get correction, you go back out, you work on the things we coach you to do, you come back, you post again. This class is badass. And when you see the reviews, everybody's crushing it because of these classes. I'm so proud of this. I'm so proud of everybody. But I put so much effort into putting together a formula that works. So you can sign up for the class. The next class starts in November. As most of you, or a lot of you know, everything I do sells out teaching wise, like everything. So if you want to get in, I would do it ASAP, but you go to scottstokely.net. And then you click on
Complete disc golfer.
Yeah, well, it's a complete disc golfer link, or you go under instruction at the top. You'll find it. You'll find it on the site. But sign up for the class. You can sign up. It's a 6-month class. You can pay all at once. You can also set it to bill you in monthly payments as well. So I encourage everybody to check that out. And then I have another announcement, but I'm going to wait a few minutes to announce that too. I got another big one that's really cool. But check out that class, y'all. It's amazing. All right. How am I going to match that amazing forehand at this year's big money match? Easy. I'll be back at the Skins Championship. I'm going to do a similar shot, but instead of for 15,000, it's going to be for 50,000, because they're guaranteeing 50,000 first place. So I'm not going to match the shot. I'm going to best that shot. Got to always be pushing the bar higher. That was the great shot, but the goal is to beat it. What is the favorite tournament that I won? Honestly, probably aside from anytime I won like national doubles or world doubles or the U.S. Open or any of those, I got 17 world and national titles, 17 trophies that say world champion, national champion, or U.S. champion. For some reason, they're all older. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. Apparently I didn't get better at 53. But I think the biggest one was my first major win was in 1987 at the Wintertime Open, because I'm like a 17-year-old kid. It's my home course. That was the biggest single event, not in disc golf, but that was the single biggest event in my entire life at that time. I didn't have a life outside of disc golf. And I was 17 years old, and I won against a who's who of the best in the world. I don't think anything will ever make me as happy as that, because that was the first big one. Even when I won my first world distance title, which was like I'd worked so many years for, a lot of that was like more like I was happy about it, but I was also relieved. It's like, oh God, thank God I got that one done, because of, I wanted to win. I trained for it for so long. So it's almost like a relief as much as happiness. But when you're 17 and you win your first major tournament, it's just happiness. That's probably my favorite. Any tips for a woman trying to gain distance throwing, struggling to throw past 230-ish? Okay, so the first tip, you can take the word woman out of your question. And this is not me being 2022 politically correct. This has nothing to do with that. I'm just, as the best teacher in the game, I can tell you the physical laws of the universe don't care what gender you are. They don't care if you're a man, a woman. They don't care if you're a child or an old person, if you're an amateur, a pro, if you're fat, you're thin, you're tall, you're short. Doesn't matter. The mechanics don't change. The tips, I mean, it's not there. The thing is, there's not really a tip. You know, the throwing correctly is how you throw farther and how you throw far. You know, think about the 7-year-old cowboy or cowgirl that can crack a bullwhip. You know, like there's 7-year-olds out there that can take a piece of leather and break the speed of sound with a piece of leather because they have proper technique. And you've also seen kids, you know, 12-year-old kids that throw 400 feet, you know, maybe 13, you know, whatever. But I mean, kids. And by the way, they're 13 years old. They don't have a muscle on their body yet, most of them. It's proper technique. So I apologize that this is not me trying to sell you something, but my online disc golf class, this is the by far most effective way of learning proper technique. I can tell you this too, if you sign up in November, the first month is backhand, and it'll be 6 more months before we do backhand again. So if you do get in for the first class, you'll be working on backhand immediately. But there's no one tip. It's like there's no magic bullet. It's you have to do so many different things right. You know, you got to keep your weight above your hips, your wrist straight. The head goes with the body. You got to plant first. You got to pull across your body where you have the most strength. You got to keep your wrist straight. You can't dip. You can't take long steps. You can't take short steps, and you can't swivel your forearm. Like every single one of those things I mentioned hurts your distance. If you're doing 3 of those things wrong, it's killing your distance. So, but there's not one trick. Am I going to be hanging out at the Disc Golf Pro Tour Championship at all? Well, maybe. Yes, maybe no. I am. I didn't qualify for it. Apparently, you got to be. What's the word I'm looking for? God, I can't. Good. That's right. Apparently you got to be good to play the Disc Golf Pro Tour Championships, and I wasn't good enough this year. So I won't be playing. And so what I did was I have 3 clinics I'll be doing in Hickory, Chapel Hill, and Cary/Raleigh. No, not even Cary. Raleigh. The week of the championships. But I'm also probably going to go out because I have a seminar the day after. I'm also trying to schedule something. It's the dumbest thing I've ever done in my entire life. But y'all ever heard of the 1 chip challenge? You know, where you eat a chip covered in like Carolina Reaper or ghost pepper. I did this once. I did the 1 chip challenge. You know, it's like $40 for a potato chip or something. And like, it's not like funny. It's not like trying to eat the hottest hot wings at the bar to get your picture on the wall. Like, it's just stupid. It's not fun. It sucks. Like, you have to be a complete freaking moron to do it, especially if you've already done it. But anyways, I was dared to do it. So I have to do it. And so I'm going to be doing the 1 chip challenge with the people at Gatekeeper Media. And we're doing a challenge match, a 9-hole challenge match where we're going to be playing 5 holes, and then we're going to eat a chip and then play the last 4 holes, and it's going to be on video, and watch me cry on camera. By the way, I've cried on camera before, so I'll live with it. So anyways, long story. So I'm going to be around. I'm not sure when or how much, but I'm going to be there maybe eating a stupid potato. Why am I doing this? God, this is so stupid. I'm not even like,
You're not even a masochist.
I'm not even a masochist. Like, why? Anyways, I don't know why, but I'm doing it, and I'll be at the championship doing it. Oh, thank you, Robert Snipes. Looking forward to having me at Kentwood. I cannot wait to be in Kentwood. Oh, you saw the announcement. Yeah, I'll be.
Robert, I think he's the one that's setting it up.
Oh, you're the one that set it up. I'm sorry, Robert. I get my names confused. I mean, I can't even tell you like how many like wrong names I've called Adriana in 3 years. Like, how many do you think?
I lost count.
She lost count how many times I've called Adriana by the wrong name. I'm old. What are you gonna do? I crossed that line where I can now Like I can now just forget things on.
Senility
I,
or something.
I can forget things on purpose now and get away with it. It's like basically there's like exactly 7,600 amazing things about being young and like 3 good things about being old. And that's one of them. So that's about what. And by the way, when I say 3, I can't think off the top of my head of the other 2. I can't. Can you? Like, what other possible benefit is there of being old, aside from being able to forget things and people lower their expectations around you,
I think that's fair.
right? So they they lower your expectations.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Please talk about Southeast Asian tour, especially Koh Sam. How do you pronounce it, by the way? Samui, Thailand. Yes, I'd be happy to talk about this. So I am leaving Auckland, New Zealand, to fly to Southeast Asia for 2 months, at least 2 months. We're flying to Singapore first, and we're close to finalizing this. But I'm going to be teaching disc golf. There's like 4 major school districts in Singapore, and I think we're trying to set up where I can make an appearance at all 4 school districts to teach disc golf in Singapore. And then I'm going to cross the border into Malaysia and play a tournament in Malaysia. And then I'm going to, that's like the next week. And then the week after that.
You're playing Samui Swine.
Samui Swine. I will be doing the Samui Swine after that in Thailand. And then after that, to a tournament in Cambodia. But I think our plan is to be in Southeast Asia for 2 months. So, it's a little bit different because we aren't like going to be carrying any merchandise, I don't think, or anything. Like it's like I'm not like all my clinics are completely going to be free over there, except for the one in Singapore. That's through the government, and Singapore is it's an affluent country. It's like a Western country. But the rest of the clinics I'm doing, I'll be teaching for free, just to just help spread the love of disc golf. So what we're doing, we're just shipping our merchandise from New Zealand straight to Europe. And we're basically going to go to Asia and just like, we're going to have a backpack and a couple discs. And we're really just going to be like, how many different trains can we get on to go to how many different national parks around Southeast Asia for 2 months? And then we'll be like coming out of the jungle or coming out of the parks to do a disc golf thing and disappearing again. That's the main thing. I mean, we're disc golf's a big part of what I do, but it's by far from the only thing I do. Oh, thank you, Vandy. Appreciate that. I will never turn it down. I hope I can give you $10 worth of entertainment. God, if I could only juggle. If I could juggle.
You well, spin the disc around or something. Right?
No, I can juggle. Here, I'm going to try. For $10, I will attempt to juggle. And by the way, because I'm an expert in marketing, I'm going to juggle my Stokely Universe discs available at scottstokely.net. These are on Discraft Buzzes. Let's see if I can juggle. Wait, hold on. You said I was going to spill my coffee, right?
Yep. Here it goes.
Nope, here it goes. I can't do it with my glasses on. That was close. Hold on. Let me try one more time. Wait, hold on. That's not good. It's actually hard sitting down.
Well, I'm impressed.
Did you know I could do that?
No, I didn't.
I didn't know I could do that either. It's hard sitting down because I'm not very, I don't know how to juggle.
Well, plus you got to get past those big.
Well, no, if you don't, no, if you don't know how to juggle, it helps to be able to move around and reach stuff there. Now, I didn't know I could juggle till right then. Simon Louvre, will I play the Euro Tour next year or Disc Golf Pro Tour? No, I'm going to be in Europe all of next year. So the whole plan after Asia is to head over to the European Pro Tour and PDGA Europe. And I'm not sure exactly which one because I think they're going to be conflicting with each other. And I don't know how it's going to work. So PDGA Europe's tour, I think 13 events just came out today. I'm waiting for the Disc Golf Pro Tour.
No, the European.
Oh, sorry.
which
I'm sorry. The European Pro Tour to come out, and then I'm going to set my schedule. I also don't know how early in the season it's going to start, because if we have a break between Southeast Asia and the first tournament in Europe, which we might, I kind of want to go to Turkey. And you're thinking Greece.
Yeah, I was thinking Mediterranean.
You're thinking Mediterranean. I'm thinking Turkey. So we're not sure. We have to argue about this later. Let's see.
We'll see who wins.
Well, yeah, we'll see who wins the argument.
Thumb wrestling.
We can. How about we'll see who wins this argument. I paid for it. It's like Bill Burr. Bill Burr when his wife got mad at him for like throwing his jacket on the floor. He's like, I paid for this floor. We'll see how that goes. No, I don't know. We're not sure what the plan. But so totally off track. So yes, 100% for sure. We're going to be doing all of Europe next year. I plan on going to the U.S. to compete at the World Championships. But other than that, it's the complete European, as much as of Europe as we can see. And then next winter, the winter after this one, definitely going to go spend some time in India, because I've never been. And then there's 4 tournaments in Africa: Tanzania, Ethiopia, Kenya, and South Africa. There's 4 tournaments in Africa, and that's my plan. My plan is to go to Africa the winter after next. So that's got the next 18 months pretty much locked up. And then the next spring, I don't know if it's DGPT or Euro Tour. I haven't figured that one out. It might depend on how I'm playing. Have I thrown the hydrogen from Loft? I have not. They're the ones in Denmark, right? Any plans to try the MVP glitch? No, I'm kind of locked into my discs at the moment, because I got all my Tour Series discs. Some of them they're out. You can get them at scottstokely.net, but I have a handful that we've ordered that are actually in boxes in the warehouse that haven't even shipped yet. But I got my bag pretty much locked down. The only one that I'm going to be adding is almost positive. I was almost there's a disc from Birdie Disc Golf Supply called the Strike that I've only thrown a little bit. So I'm not going to make any decisions or make any claims for a disc that I've only thrown a little bit. But in the little I've thrown it, it has a place in my bag. It's freaking amazing. But I got to give it more time. But so far, I'm like, holy crap, this disc is good. So I might be introducing that one. But that's a very specific reason. No way. Really, Vandy?
Liked your juggling.
Oh, for the juggling?
Yeah, so it was worth $20.
Wait a second, $20. If I knew if I could make $20 juggling, how much do I make putting? Probably more. A little bit more.
It depends on the putt, right?
You know, it's really
considering you give away all your prize money, you don't get anything for putting.
Hey, yeah, that's true. It seems how I give away all my I've given away all my prize money for a year and a half. So, well, yeah, and I don't get paid for, is it 2.5 years?
Yeah.
It's been a couple years. I've given away about $20,000 in prize money.
Yeah.
Do you know that?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think it's over 20,000 now in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to look, because then I'll change my mind and stop doing it. So I'll just pretend that I don't know how much it is.
It makes it feel better.
Hey, I'll tell you a funny story about juggling though. And this is I like teaching these like old man life lessons, because I've hit that invisible age where when I start talking about life, it's like, shoot, the old guy's talking about life, but you kind of have to listen because I'm old. It's that weird thing. You have to listen. So we were in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Is that where it was?
Mm-hmm.
This is the drug. It's Neil's, right?
Yep.
And we saw this poster that says there's a person with 8 Guinness World Juggling Records. 8 Guinness World Records for juggling was performing in Pigeon Forge. And so I was like, that's cool. I want to meet this guy. So the lesson is, like, I just I just hounded him in social media until eventually I said, let me see, I got talked about something, let me get you on the phone. And next thing I know, I got him on the phone. And I was like, oh my God, this is really cool. Let us take you out to lunch. And we ended up taking him out to lunch. He's from Denmark, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, super cool guy. And then I ended up interviewing him for my, well, at the time when I had like what I called it a podcast. So I ended up interviewing him. But it's the
he's super cool.
He was a great guy. But the whole point is like, here, this is going to be your $20 lesson, is that like the worst that would have happened is he doesn't have time to meet me for lunch. But like if I'm in that situation 3 times, one of those 3 people will meet me for lunch. I'll do that all the time. Like, just go after the stuff you want. Don't wait for it to come to you or wish, oh, I should have messaged him. Because he was a great guy, and he's like, I don't know, he was probably just thinking free meal, but whatever. Like, people will do it. How would I design a course so that it works on TV and in person? Oh boy. See, this is interesting. So in person is just designing a good course, right? So that's not, I think the question is, so it works on television also. I'm doing I created a 36 team bracket tournament that I'm currently about 50% of the way through on my YouTube channel. And what the bracket is what is your favorite course, disc golf course for coverage? So not the favorite course or favorite course to see players or courses you want to play, but what's the favorite course to watch coverage on? And the reason why I did this was because I was curious what people would think. Because we all assume we know what everybody thinks. Because here's the consensus. The consensus is the vast majority of the players, myself included, want to play in really difficult courses, mostly in the woods. But it's not spectator friendly and it doesn't look good on coverage. It looks way better on coverage and it's more spectator friendly if they're just wide open bomber shots. But we find those more boring to play, but they're better for coverage. So there's always been this thing where it's like, what are we going to do? This is a big problem facing our sport. The courses people want to see disc golf on is not the courses we want to play on. Well, it occurred to me, is that really what people want to see? I mean, maybe it is, but has anybody ever asked them what courses you would like to watch coverage on? And so I came up with the idea of doing a 36 course bracket where every single day or every other day, 2 courses face off. Which course do you want to see? Would you rather see coverage on, the Preserve or Toboggan? And then people vote, and then whichever course wins moves up in the bracket, just like the NCAA tournament or whatever. And I wanted to see if people really did prefer watching courses on open courses. And it turns out, according to this poll anyways, so far, they don't. A lot of the wooded courses are getting just as much positive votes, or people are voting for, as the long courses. Like, people are voting for good courses, but some of the woods courses have beaten out the open courses. I mean, I was surprised that like Jones Supreme at the Dynamic Discs Open, that course got crushed as far as watching coverage on it, and I was surprised because it's a course where people throw 600-foot hyzers, and so I don't know that there's as much of a conflict between those two things as we thought. But I'm only halfway through the tournament, so we'll have to wait and see. All right, y'all want to hear the big announcement? The other big announcement, aside from that I just launched my next 6-month class, online, Become a Complete Disc Golfer class. You can sign up at scottstokely.net. The other one is I came across a sleeve of collectible discs. Do you have a picture?
Oh, was I supposed to get a picture?
Yeah, I forgot to tell you.
Hold on.
Okay, I forgot to tell her to have a picture ready. Don't pull it up yet, because I'm going to do a drum roll. She's going to find a picture. But I found a sleeve of discs that are no longer in production, collectible discs, that are selling on eBay for, I saw one for $80, but they're generally going between $100 and $250 a piece on eBay. And I got a whole stack of them that I put up on my store for $50 a piece. And the reason they're $50 a piece is because I mean, they're coming out of the warehouse. I'm not going to drive around and like put one on eBay and wait to see how high the bid goes. Like that's just impossible for me to do. So I lowered the price to a price where they'll just sell out.
Now you want to do?
Okay, so this is the disc out of production. This is a disc that was created in 2004 from one of the very first companies, a company called Ching Discs. Way back in the early days, there was based after Whammo. You can put it up. There was Discraft, Innova, and Lightning. Lightning, well, actually, got to throw into Lightning, but they stopped producing discs years ago, and the no new disc companies came out until Gateway and Ching came out. I'm sorry, DGA also came out, which was produced by Discraft. But this is one of the first original mold companies. And so this company came out called Ching. And Ching was created with the idea of pushing the envelope of creative design. Like let's be creative. And the thing about creative design on discs is that not every idea is good. Not every idea is bad though either. And you don't know until you put stuff out there. And even when you test it, you can test it and not know whether it's good or not until it hits the market. So anyways, this is a disc that Ching put out called the Juju. Now, if you look at the indentations on top, those are thumb tracks. But if you look closely, they're not all the same distance from the rim. This is a stellar revolutionary concept because what the idea is that you put your thumb in the little divot, you can grip the disc better by doing this. But not everybody's hand's the same size, so they need to have thumb places in different places for you to find. So, like if you were playing with this disc, you might find yours fits better in the second slot or the third spot. But once you find it, you'd put it there every single time. And anyways, this came out in 2004. It's a first run. It's called first run. It was in the fusion plastic. That was the only run they ever made in this plastic, and then they stopped making them in this plastic. I can't recall the other plastic name, but they changed the plastic. So only the first run Jujus were made in the fusion plastic. They're out of production. You can't find them anymore. They're first off, they actually fly really, really well. But if you don't want to throw a $50 disc, it's a disc. And this disc is part of history. It's the first run of a disc from a company that's out of production. And they're on my site for $50 a piece. If you go search eBay for the Ching Juju, you'll see them going for as much as $250 a piece. So if someone's patient, I suspect they could probably buy a handful of them and put one up every once in a while and like make some money, decent money off it. But that disc is at scottstokely.net right now. And I hope y'all are interested because, I don't know, they're really cool. All right. Next question. By the way, real quick, I want to welcome hopefully there's people here from my adventure channel. So I have an entire channel called Scott Stokely Adventures on Facebook. The Instagram is just getting off the ground. We're starting a YouTube channel, but Scott Stokely Adventures is all the non-disc golf stuff. So you can find tons of stuff on there about tourist traps and backpacking, and especially when I go overseas, like half the stuff we're going to do has nothing to do with disc golf, but it's always fun and entertaining. I'm broadcasting a live stream over there as well on the adventure page. So if y'all have any questions or want to hear stories about non-disc golf stuff, for those of you who don't know, I am, and Adriana is as well. We are full-time nomads. No storage unit, no home base. We don't even have a box of pictures. Like every single thing we own, literally everything we own, aside from the vehicle we drive, is sitting in our hotel room right now. And we carried it in by hand. Like we don't own stuff. We just do things. And so we live on the road. We're never going to land. We're never going to have a home. Everything we do is just the next adventure. So if anybody's interested in that, feel free to shoot questions about nomadic living. It's not as usual as it used to be now. People travel and work remotely and do it from all over the world. Safe from the hurricane. Yeah, so we actually drove into the hurricane. It was today we drove from Boston down to we're in North Carolina, and we drove into the tail end of the hurricane. Like we barely caught the edge of it, and it was scary as hell because we were going over the Chesapeake Bay Bridge, and I mean the waves.
Bridge tunnel.
No, like the waves that were hitting. You got scale on the waves because we're on the bridge. The bridge ain't that high off the water, and the waves. I mean, they were like 6-foot breakers in the bay, not in the open seas, but actually in the bay. There were like 6 or 7 foot waves hitting the things, and that was barely the edge of the storm. It was scary on the bridge with it blowing. We had hydroplane on the bridge and stuff. It sucked, but now I think it's past us. When am I coming to New Zealand? Am I doing any classes in the Wellington area? I will be in New Zealand on December 5th. I'll be flying. I think it's December 5th, right?
November 5th. Oh, New Zealand. Yes.
New Zealand, December 5th, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think December 5th, I will be announcing. I'm doing 8 clinics around New Zealand while I'm there. We're going to be there for a month. I think a month in New Zealand. No, we're doing 8 or 10 clinics.
Yeah, we're going to be there for about 6 weeks.
Oh, and are we in 6 weeks in New Zealand?
Yeah, because we're not leaving till.
No, because because we're flying January 2nd to Southeast Asia. So we're New
January
Zealand.
2nd. Oh yes.
Yeah. So
it's a month.
1 month in New Zealand.
Yeah, 1 month.
And I think we're doing
6 weeks.
8 clinics.
Southeast Asia.
6 weeks Southeast Asia. Yeah. So we're starting clinics in Wellington. We're going to end the clinics down in Christchurch, but we're doing 8 of them, and the rest of the time we're going to be disappearing into the back country. Oh, in Wellington. Yeah, of course we're doing Wellington. Wellington's the windiest city in the world, right? I'm going to teach everybody how to play in the wind. Actually, they'll probably teach me how to play in the wind.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I believe Wellington, New Zealand. Wellington, New Zealand is, I believe it's the windiest city in the world with a population of more than 50,000 people or something like that. I think that's what I read. And here's the thing. And I said this is a no swearing. I made this a PG podcast, and I'll keep it PG. But just north of Wellington, we're going to go to a city called Whakapapa.
That's a real place.
It's a real place. It's called Whakapapa. It's spelled completely different, but it's a Maori word, I think. And on the Wikipedia page, it actually says it's pronounced Whakapapa. I want to go there and get a shirt. Any tips on body maintenance, having flare-up muscular issues, and overall fatigue? Okay, so I don't want to give advice outside of my knowledge base because, people that do that it's a pet peeve of mine because that's crazy. But on body maintenance, you're not supposed to say this in 2022. I know it's politically incorrect, but first and foremost, if you're carrying extra weight, that's going to cause problems like body fatigue. Now I'm not saying you're less of a person or you're not beautiful or please don't get mad at me for saying this, but that is the first place I would start with anybody if that's the case. With fatigue, with anything. I've been heavier and I know what it feels like to not be, and it's not the same. It's better. It doesn't mean I'm better, but means I feel better. And that would be probably the biggest thing. I will tell you that I am going to be launching an online fitness class. I think we'll be announcing it maybe in the next week, where everybody, hopefully all my friends in the disc golf world that want to get into shape will get together and help start having a better lifestyle. And I'm trying to do this without saying I don't want to sound like I'm trying to sell a CrossFit membership or something like that. And I'm not preaching vegan religion or what's the big one? Keto. I'm not on the keto bandwagon. None of that stuff. It's just about a lifestyle of changing lifestyles. So I'd say hang in there, look for the announcement. Which disc golfer has impressed me the most in my career? Paul McBeth. Easily. He's the first rock star in our sport. He's the first person to transcend into the mainstream. He is. Like, I'm in awe of him. I'm in awe of what he's done. By the way, don't like tell him I said that, please. But I think it's just what he's been able to do against the level of play that exists right now in the sport, or in the last 10 years. I mean, the amount of high quality players to win 5 world titles. I I I don't even I can't even wrap my head around it. Wait, did I say 5? 6.
6 now.
6 now. Against this level of and competition and this depth of field. I mean, you got to understand, the 100th best player in the world is freaking amazing. Like, you're going out, and the 100th best player in the world is on average the second best disc golfer in their entire state. I mean, think about that. That's the 100th best player. It would on average be ranked number 2 in their home state. It's stupid. And then to go out in a 4-round tournament, or 4 or 5-round tournament, in such a short amount of time, like, where anybody can win, and then to win like he's...
It's less than that, because
it's
the amount of players that
unbelievable.
are in the top 100 that are also from Europe, so that's not accounting.
Yeah, it's not even... Oh yeah, so if you count the people from Europe, the 100th best player in the world is actually might be the best player in their entire state, and you have 100 of them who are capable of going out and shooting like a 10-70 round 4 times. It's stupid. You know, yeah, I you know, like, that's who I watch when I watch form review videos and I want to like study players. I mean, I study Paul. Do I wash my discs? Never. Boo. Boo. No, you never wash your discs. You don't wash your discs or your underwear. Those are the 2 things.
Or your golf towels.
Or you never wash your golf towels. By the way, I said never wash your underwear. Let your girlfriend do it for you. Thanks, by the way, for washing my underwear.
You're very welcome.
Never wash your own underwear.
I do it because it's in my best interest.
Yeah, it's in her best interest to do it. That's when I knew I made it. I knew it when I realized I don't have to wash my underwear anymore. No, but I will tell you something about I will tell you the one of the funny stories. If you do wash your discs, I'll give you some advice to not do. Frank Aguilera, who was one of the top distance throwers in the world before the U.S. Open, washed his discs. I don't know why he did this, but he washed his discs and he used dish soap. And no matter if you use dish soap, I don't care how much you rinse your discs, it's going to have some dish soap film on it. And it lightly sprinkled the next day, and he couldn't grip his discs, and he couldn't throw a distance throw because of it. So don't do that. My most cherished disc golf memory? You know, it's probably silly, because probably the most life-changing moment, the single biggest moment in my life, was when I was 11 years old, and I had been playing for like 4 years off and on when my mom took me to the world's first course, when it was the only course in the world. But I lived like 7 miles away for 4 years, so I would go like every couple months. And then when I was 11, I moved to town, and I was 11 years old, and I went from a very middle-class town to a very rich, snobby, affluent town where I just did not fit in. Like, I was not raised like them. My bike cost less than their bike. My clothing didn't have alligators and tigers on it. Like, I didn't fit in at all in any stretch in this town. And making friends was almost out of the question. I was ostracized immediately from their community. This is if you're younger, you don't realize, because some of the classism that exists now is nothing like it used to be. In the 80s, it was like, if you had money, like, you went, like, you shit all over the people that did. So anyways, I started going to the park, Oak Grove Park, and I started playing Frisbee golf by myself every single day, with Frisbees from a store, like grocery store. But I went there every day to play. And I was on the tee pad of hole 6 when Bruce Sisson, who, come to find out, was the president of the Oak Grove Gophers Disc Golf Club, approached me and introduced himself, saying, "I see you coming here every day, but you can't play with these." and he gave me some golf frisbees, which were just midnight flyers from Whammo. And he says, "Hey, you should join the local club." And so he gave me some of these frisbees. He gave me like a flyer that had club members' phone numbers on it, and like he introduced me to the club members, and then I got introduced to the Oak Grove Gophers. And to this day, if you look, that's that tattoo right there, which I can't. There you go. It actually says Oak Grove Gophers on it, because all of a sudden I had my people, and I hated school, despised every second of school. I think there's not a good memory of junior high school and high school, but I didn't matter. They weren't my people. The Oak Grove Gophers were my people, and my dad had died, and so they adopted me, and so they also became my dads. But the moment happened when Bruce Sisson introduced himself to me. You know, it's kind of one of those things where you say, like, you do something for a kid, it could change the rest of their life. It's like, that's what happened. And so without that moment, like, who knows? Maybe I would have got a new video game the next day and stopped playing. I don't know. Who knows what would have happened? But as soon as the club adopted me and I got my family, like, that's it. I had a place. So I would say that's definitely my most cherished memory, because it was the most important memory for sure. Oh, but the second one was when I was with Joe Orsino, we left the course and we drove up into the mountains, and I was 12 years old, and there was a truck in front of us with two girls standing in the back with bathing suits on, and they looked at us and they dropped their shirts, and I was 12 years old, and I saw four boobs. That's my second greatest disc golf memory. Am I allowed to say that on?
I'm not sure that's PG.
Is that not PG? No, it is. No, it is PG, because Airplane. There were boobs in Airplane, and Airplane was rated PG. Therefore, that's a PG story.
Okay, we'll go with that.
We're going to go with that one. So that was my second most cherished memory in all of disc golf. I didn't want this show to get too serious too quick here. Why am I always still going forward past the front tee pad of my best shots? Should I plan hard or something? Why am I always still going forward past the front of the tee pad? Well, because you have forward momentum. You know, I mean, forward momentum. The thing about what happens to your body after you throw, it's involuntary. Now, the idea is the more you can stop, I mean, this is the physics of it, the faster you go up the tee pad and the more abruptly you can stop, the more energy you can transfer to the disc. And I don't mean like in the metaphysical sense. Like I'm talking about that forward momentum energy gets transferred somewhere. Now, if you go to the end of the tee pad and then you stop, pause, then throw, then all of that energy got displaced once you stopped. It was no longer there. But if you stop at the moment where the right parts of your body are accelerating with the right timing, that's why timing is so important. Then you can transfer the energy to run up to the throw. Not stopping is not transferring energy. Having said that, planting and stopping some will transfer energy. And if you're going up faster, that having more momentum is not automatically bad. Now, having said that, I wouldn't think about planting harder, because you don't want to be going down harder when you're trying to transfer energy sideways, laterally. So I would think about maybe running up a little slower. But following through is not automatically bad. When we're doing pure distance throws, like on a pure distance throw, it's like an outfielder throwing to home plate, you know, where they throw and they take 9 steps after their release, just as they're like slowing their bodies down. Or they even throw and then like do a somersault when they throw. So forward momentum is not automatically bad, but it's usually less control and not necessary. Okay, quick announcement. My online Become a Complete Disc Golfer class you can sign up at scottstokely.net. It is, like, as far as teaching goes, it's the thing I'm most proud of in this sport. It's so good. I'll be posting a ton of reviews and before and after photos, because I got 6 online classes I'm currently teaching. They're in months 4 and month 5 right now, and everybody's just killing it in these classes. Like, it's so good. So anyways, go to scottstokely.net to read more about those. And I'll post a picture in a minute. I got one more thing that I just posted about, but I don't want overwhelm people with a sales pitch. Have I played in mountain courses in Colorado? Beaver Ranch, yes. Bailey, yes. Bear Mountain, no. What's my favorite? My favorite, Beaver Ranch is the best. In the long tournament setting, Beaver Ranch is a fantastic wooded course. It's a great course. It's still, even that course is a little bit dated compared to modern courses. Nowadays, I think most courses need to be between par 65 and par 70 to really be considered like championship courses. Now, Maple Hill isn't. And that's certainly a championship course. There's exceptions. That course is so special, but generally I think longer is better. But my course is always going to be Aspen, Kiss the Sky. I played that tournament, I think 5 times. I played Kiss the Sky in the 90s. I won it all 5 years. I think I won 5 out of 5, maybe 4 out of 4. I have no idea, but I never lost. I never lost there. And it's just, you take a gondola. You start at like 7,000 feet. You take a gondola up to 12,000 feet. I think that the tee pad of hole 1 is something like at like 12,000 feet above sea level. You play at the course. You played. It was 24 holes. You played from the where the gondola lets off. You play a small loop for 9 holes. You play a bigger loop down the hill and then back up the hill, which is really tough for 9 holes. And then you played 6 holes down the hill. So we played 6 holes where you would throw, I'm not kidding, some of the holes were 2,000 feet and you could reach them because you were throwing from like top of a cliff. It was crazy. And then when you got to the bottom, that you got in a pickup truck and they drove you back up because it would take 2 hours to walk back up. But yeah, Kiss the Sky is my most favorite mountain course ever. Seen you'll be in Raleigh in a couple of weeks. Do you plan on going anywhere else in Western North Carolina after, closer to Asheville or Hickory in the near future? I will be doing a clinic in Hickory on I'm about to announce it, but it's like a week from Wednesday, I think, right?
The 12th is what
I think we're looking at the 12th of October. I'll be doing a clinic in Hickory. So if you're out there, that's awesome. And please tell everybody to come out. Tell them how well I juggle. They'll line up for that, right? Mm-hmm. And then how all the waitresses have the hots for me. Mm-hmm. So if there's any waitresses, tell them to come out and have the hots for me. Is there any MP50 tours? There's no MP50 tours, but most of the PDJ tournaments have an MP50 division. The thing is, the reason I'm not playing, I'm out on the Pro Tour because I wanted to see what I could do out here. I wanted to be on the real tour, the one we always dreamed of my entire life. But the other thing that for me, and the reason why I'm going to keep playing open, at least for the next few years, the last 2 years leading up to this season, I think I played more MP40 than MP50, and I'm in my 50s, but I played more. I played down in division MP40s. I won exactly 70% of my tournaments, and it's not that it's not fun, and it's not like I'm not dismissing the level of play. A lot of those wins were by a couple strokes. There's good players everywhere, but I don't really find it fun winning 7 out of 10 times. Well, at least not fun the way playing against the best in the world has been fun. I would rather go out in the Disc Golf Pro Tour and get my ass kicked by a bunch of 25-year-olds because I'm playing against the best and I have a chance. It's a long shot, but I have a chance to go out and win. And it's like I could beat these guys sometimes, and I might put it together on a weekend, and like competing against them and losing is more fun than going out to a tournament and just winning. It's for my mental health. I finished 11th at Butler. I was only a few strokes out of third. I wasn't that far out of the tournament. It's right there. I wasn't that far off. If I don't know, I believe I can win. And I'd rather take a shot at that than, I don't, by the way, I don't care if I get beat. As long as I'm playing to win, I'm fine. I have a pretty high arm speed a couple years in and struggling with throwing full power. When I go to full power, I often burn it over, or if I tone it down, I don't turn it off. Any tips? Yes. It's a timing issue. Okay, so I'm going to give you one tip, but then I'm going to plug my class, because my class is where you're going to develop the correct timing on the throw. My 6-month online class, scottstokely.net. That's where you're going to put together timing, because we break it down. It's slower. It's step by step. It's layers. You do this, then this. You have correct timing, and then you could accelerate the timing. Now, but I won't just try to sell you something. I'll also give you a tip. My thought is you probably, without seeing you throw, I bet you're doing too many things on your throw. So one of the challenging things about timing is that every single thing you do on your throw, you have to replicate every single thing you do, every single thing, every time you throw, the same. The more different things you do on your throw, the more things you have to replicate, the more things that can go wrong, the more timing is going to be off, especially when you try to speed things up. So the rule is, anything not necessary to the throw, you eliminate without exception. Just watch professional billiards players shoot pool, a professional ball golfer swing a club, professional tennis players serve a ball. There's no extra stuff. Like, there might be a routine to get into position, how many times you bounce the ball before serving on a tennis court, like how many times you waggle before you hit a golf ball. But when you actually address the ball and start to swing, no extra motion. So my guess is you're probably doing too many things on your throw, and you could probably slow down your form a little better. Okay, I got something else so I'm not going to plug my class at the moment. I've got something up at scottstokely.net. Just click on the shop link. But it is I found a sleeve of Ching Jujus. These are first run 2004, out of production, from a company, one of the early pioneers in disc golf, who was creating these revolutionary ideas. This was to put thumb tracks in different distances from the edge of the disc, so you could find the thumb track that works for you. The idea didn't catch on, but it's totally badass that somebody actually came up with an idea. Like, I love anybody that tries something, and like, it's really good. It's excellent as a training disc, by the way, because you could figure out, you could have a defined where your thumb goes, and then you could test results, move your thumb to a different spot, test results. Like, you could actually quantify thumb location in an exact spot, and then track how many shots are in the circle, how many shots work. But it's a super cool disc. It's the first runs are in a fusion plastic. You can't get that plastic anymore. And I will tell you this, if you look on eBay for the Juju, not even the first run fusions, just Jujus, and they go as high as $250. Some of them are used, and they're going for hundreds of dollars used for the Juju. These are brand new first runs. I'm selling for $50. I would sell them for way more, except I'm not on the road with the time to be posting individual items to eBay, then driving around looking for post offices. I just can't do that. So I got a handful of them at scottstokely.net. Click on the shop link up above, and you will find them. And I hope you all pick them up. They're priced way under what they're worth. Just do a search and you'll find how much they're worth. They're worth more. It's a cool disc for a collection too, first run. All right. One of my favorite courses in Oregon. My favorite course in Oregon is Milo. Of course, everybody's going to tell me about Whistler's, and I've never played it, so I've heard Whistler's is amazing. But I'm a big fan of Milo, where the Beaver Wide Open was. Beaver State Fling. Sorry, where the Beaver State Fling was. I played that in 2015. Funny story. I had been gone for 13 years, and I came back, and I was playing MP40 at the time. But after being gone for 13 years, that was the very first NT tournament I had ever played. And I won. I won in sudden death at the Beaver State Fling, my first NT ever. I don't know. I don't know if anybody's ever won their first NT. Well, no, I take that back. The first NT was won by somebody that had never won an NT. And the second one, unless the same person won, it was won by someone who had never won an NT. Okay, forget that theory. But yeah, Milo though. I know this is weird. Good. By the way, send weird questions. These serious questions are boring. Oh my God, I'm going to fall asleep. Send weird questions. All right. I know this weird, but wouldn't it be cool to be buried under a basket on a disc golf course you love? I think it would suck to be buried. Are you kidding me? That would be absolutely awful to be buried. My God. Like, that would be terrible. Oh, you mean after you're dead? Oh, no. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, no, that would be different. Funny.
This is why I'm not on camera.
This is why you're not on camera. Sweet Caroline. No. All right. Yeah, I think it would be. I don't know. It'd be way better than being in a graveyard with a tombstone, taking a valuable real estate that could be used for a disc golf course. I remember. So I tell you something funny. I had when I had meningitis, like in 2002, maybe. It was this really, really surreal thing because they diagnosed me with bacterial meningitis, told me I had a 25% chance of dying. I was connected to all these tubes and had a Demerol drip and like it sucked. But the person from this happened because there's 25% chance of me dying. This woman from the city or the county came in with a questionnaire for me, and one of the questions she asked me, she goes, "What would you like done with your body?" Which is a very weird thing to have somebody actually ask you, like, well, by the way, 25% chance you're going to be dead. What would you like done with your body? And I told her, I said, I want you to take me out with the trash and lay me up underneath the mailbox on Tuesday morning, which I thought was hilarious. And like that's funny, right? And I distinctly remember she didn't laugh. And I was thinking to myself, that's my A material. Like if you don't laugh at that, like we're never going to get along.
Well, it's her job to ask that question. I'm sure she's heard.
No, she's never heard anything that clever. That was A material. I want my body dragged underneath leaned up underneath the mailbox on Tuesday morning next to the other trash. She has never heard anything that funny before. What are you talking about? Are you on her side? That was hilarious.
Girl power.
Yeah, you take her side. No. Am I playing the USDGC? I hope I'm playing. I'm playing the qualifier on Monday. I did not qualify for USDGC. I missed qualifying, I think, by 2 strokes in Pittsburgh. Which, oh God, I was so close. I mean, I know the hole that I missed it on. I 3-putted on this hole on the side of the hill towards the end of the round, and that's like then I missed it by a couple strokes. So I have to qualify on Monday. So I'm hoping I play. I'm assuming I'll qualify. I'll play well enough, but I don't know. I don't know how many spots are available and who's going to be there, and I have no control over the other players' scores. If I don't qualify, I'm going to go to Atlanta for the week, I think. Is that where we're going?
We have a cabin. We could go to the cabin. Or Myrtle Beach.
We could go to Myrtle Beach. You have a friend in Myrtle Beach.
I do.
Yeah, we could go to Myrtle Beach. But we'll probably go somewhere. But that doesn't matter. I mean, I'm planning on qualifying, and I'm also planning on winning. When am I making my way to Australia? On October 29th, in less than a month. We're flying from Austin, Texas to Brisbane, Australia. And we're going to do a clinic right when we get there in Brisbane. And then we're going to head north and I'm going to scuba dive for 2 weeks on the Great Barrier Reef. I'm so excited.
I'm still kind of chicken about this scuba diving thing. I mean,
you're
100% interested in trying, and because I have to like certify, right? But I don't have panic attacks, and I'm a little bit nervous about like something giant in the ocean eating me.
You're nervous about
something giant from the ocean eating me.
Yeah, well, the reason you're afraid something in the ocean might eat you is because there's
giant things in the ocean.
There's things in the ocean that eat you. No, the box jellyfish will probably kill you first, or the saltwater crocodiles.
Saltwater crocodiles, okay. Jellyfish, I'm not so worried about.
Yeah,
I've been to Texas beaches.
No, but box jellyfish, they kill you dead quickly. No, you.
Yeah, that's not. I'm not afraid of dying. I'm afraid of being like bitten in half, laying, like bleeding out into the ocean, or like my.
I would hate it. No, it would suck.
My leg.
Let me tell you something. Off. It would suck if something bit you in half and you bled out in the ocean. It would absolutely suck. Because that would attract sharks, and I don't want the sharks to come.
And then they're gonna eat you too.
No, so that would totally ruin my day because then I'd have to end my dive. Like what? Okay,
and it'll be all my fault.
What if?
See why I'm having anxiety over this?
How about this? What if I paid for your air tank, and then you got bitten by a shark within the first 10 minutes, and you didn't even use 40 minutes worth of your air, but I've already paid for it.
And then it's my fault we're wasting money.
Yeah, they're not giving me my money back on the air. I'll be out $6.
Way to go! You just gave me more to get anxious over.
You don't need to be anxious. The sharks the sharks rarely eat people.
Rare.
It's rare. Well, I mean, they do eat people in Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah. The last person eaten by a shark was just off the shore, a surfer in Australia, I think. I don't want to scare you or anything, but it was right where we're diving. I can't wait. I want to dive with sharks. How much would it mean to qualify for USDGC? So I'm dying to I'm so excited I want to qualify for USDGC, but I'm also glasses half full because right now, currently, I have the third best average finish at USDGC. It's Ken Climo, Daryl Nodlin, me, then Ricky, I think, or something like that. Something like that. But I'm right now, I'm currently ranked as the third highest average finisher as USDGC. If I qualify for USDGC and then I have a bad tournament and finish 70th, I'll not be the third highest average finisher any longer. I had this at the World Championships, I had, as far as the percentage of World Championships finishing in the top 10, I was also ranked number 3. Or was I number 2? I think I was number 2.
Mm-hmm.
No. That was Ricky was number 2 and I was number 3 or something like that. Whatever it was, I think I was either 2 or 3 average top, as far as highest percentage of World Championships finishing in the top 20. It's 87% in the top 10 at the World Championships. And I kind of lost that this year. So I want to play in it, but I'll be glasses half full if I don't. I'll be keep the streak alive. That'd be funny. My average finish at USDGC will not account for the time I wasn't even good enough to qualify. So I love about statistics. True. You can manipulate them you can spin them for any story you want to tell.
That's true.
You may have missed the updates, but surprised Spain and Scotland have not been a heavy target to go disc golf. The Scottish landscapes make great courses, and Spain has the climate. Well, there is a PDGA Europe tournament in Spain, which I'll be going to next year.
The last of next
October?
November?
It's in November?
I think it's November next year.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's all the way in November. That won't give us a lot of time for India because I think the African tournaments are in January. But anyways, yeah, I'll be look, disc golf's taken over the world. It's just a matter of when, not if. It just has to start somewhere and seeds get planted. But I mean, disc golf is it's going to be the biggest sport in the world. It's going to pass cricket, then it's going to pass soccer, and then it's going to pass sitting on the couch, watching TV and getting fat. That's the world's biggest number 1 sport.
Video games?
No. Oh. What television?
Oh,
television and snack foods.
Okay.
By the way, nothing against. Don't get mad at me, people. I didn't say there's anything wrong with doing that. I'm just saying that's the biggest sport in the world.
No, I thought you were talking about
it was exported from the U.S. to the rest of the world, but it's still the biggest sport in the world.
Esports is serious competition.
Esports?
Yeah, video games.
video games aren't sports. Video games are what you do when you're 9 years old. You go smoke cigarettes at the arcade and you play Asteroids. And
yeah, but now you can do it from your couch.
You can't play video. You can't play video. Wait, you bring your couch to the arcade?
No, they don't have couches in arcades.
Oh my God, you guys. If you're young, you are not even going to believe this, but everybody who's older will tell you this. So back before home consoles, before the Atari 5200 came out, or Atari 2600 came out, like in the late 70s, video games were all in arcades. You've probably seen like videos, like in pictures of like people playing, Asteroids and Space Invaders, Missile Command, and all those games, Pac-Man in arcades. But here's what you didn't see back then, was that back in the 70s, like it wasn't like nerds played video games. It was the cool kids. It was the kids with the long hair. They smoked the cigarettes while they played. And like if they were really good at Donkey Kong while they had a cigarette hanging out of their mouth, oh my God, they were like king. But here's the craziest thing about video games in the arcades. If you were good at video games in the 70s, you were like the alpha male of like the kids in your town. Like, and you got the girls. Like if you were good at Pac-Man, you got more sex than your friend who wasn't as good at Pac-Man. And that's a true story. Like that is how you got girls in the 70s. You were good at like video games. Because here's the thing. When you played, crowds would gather around you. Like you were the alpha of the arcade. And the arcade was where all the kids hung out. That was the rec center. Like that's insane because all these kids were always assholes. Like none of those kids were nice and cool.
All right, you quickly departed from PG language.
What? Oh, did I get off track? Wait a second. Well, because it's past 10 o'clock.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, this is like WWE. Like half the show's PG, but we go to PG-13. No, I didn't say anything. I didn't use any bad language. I just was stating a historical biological fact. The biological fact is if you were good at Asteroids, like that was like in the 80s, that's the kid in the 80s, it was the rich kid that drove the Corvette. In the 70s, it was the kid that just dominate Missile Command.
I've never even heard of that game.
Oh my God. Well, thank God. If you had, that would mean you're my age. So thank God you haven't. Let's see. When can we?
1v1.
1v1. When can we 1-on-1? Are those fighting words? Are you threatening me? Is tree threatening me? I don't know, but if it's...
I don't know, but Busty Chop's got your back.
What?
Read that one.
What is it? Why am I such a badass? I'm not a badass. I just told you. I was the kid at the arcade in the crowd watching the kid like play Asteroids, like with a cigarette in his mouth and a girl on one arm and like two other girls wishing they were her. I mean, granted, I was like 7 at the time and he was like 15, but still. But by the time I got good at video games, I discovered Frisbee golf and decided I didn't want to play video games. Any room in the schedule to visit the UK? I might be going to the UK. It depends. I have not seen the the disc golf
European Pro Tour.
The European Pro Tour has not released their schedule. If they do, then I probably will go there. I mean, I want to go to Scotland and Ireland and England.
They said they're going to be talking to you probably within the week. So
yeah, they're going to talk to me within the week.
We'll have schedules.
I'll have my whole schedule up. But I want to go. I want to go to everywhere. Of course, although I'm honestly, and please don't take this the wrong way, Murray, but I like my most interesting places are the most exotic places. I want to go to India and Africa, and then follow like below that a tier is like Southeast Asia and South America, and the more Western it gets, the less interesting that is to me, because it's not that I don't want to go. It's just that like at the end of the season, if I could go to India or the UK, it's going to be India just because that's more far out. So I do want to go. I want to go everywhere. I want to go to Scotland. I want to get, oh my God, I want to see like soccer players fight. I want to go to soccer or football, as you call it. I want to go to a football match.
Are we going to go see rugby in Australia?
Are we going to see rugby in Australia?
Yeah.
Yes, of course we're going to. Well, Australia and
I don't know what season.
Mainly New Zealand.
It's summer.
Yeah, it's summer down there. Of course we're going to go see rugby. We just went to a polo match, for crying out loud, because we were in Newport, Rhode Island. You think we're not going to go see? We're not going to go see rugby in New Zealand?
What's the best rugby team? We have to find one.
Well, no,
or the oldest.
I think traditionally it's New Zealand. I think New Zealand has the best rugby players in the world.
Oh, well, then those are the ones I want.
But don't quote me on that. But I think
I'm sure somebody will correct you.
Someone can correct me if anybody knows where the best rugby players come from. But I do want to go to Scotland, and I mean, ever since I saw Train Spotted, I want to go to Scotland. Let's see. Did I ever bag or throw any chain discs for any amount of time? Why did I have a box of Jujus in storage? Okay, so that's a long story on why I have the box, but I have a large selection of a large number of collectible discs, and I'm going to be releasing them, but I'm not releasing them all at once because, on Facebook, there's a Scott Stokely collectors group that I started. There's already like 700 members in there. And I'll be releasing everything in there. But I have a ton of collector's discs of all kinds. And I never threw Chain because I stopped playing before Chain came out, or right when they came out. I had stopped, and then I was very familiar with them. I mean, I know they're a cool company. Mike that ran them was like a great guy. So, but I never threw them. The Juju, by the way, that was awesome. The way that it's like, it reminds me of a 70 mold, but a little faster. And if you don't know what a 70 mold is, you won't get the reference. But if you do, it flies like a faster 70 mold. Understable, slow turn, never fades. What I think of Morley Field in San Diego. I lived in San Diego and played Morley Field every day for a while back in 1989. It's great. I mean, it's a incredibly dated because it's just a little, chip shot course, but like every shot's fun. I mean, there's nothing wrong with these courses, but it's a recreational course. It's a fantastic recreational course. And I think it's the busiest course in the world. I think they have something like 600 rounds a day shot there, or some ridiculous number like that. Like Morley Field crushes. But I love Morley Field.
So they said New Zealand's national rugby team is called the All Blacks, and they have a 75% winning. Okay,
I was about to say, I thought it was like the something Blacks. Yeah, they're the best team in the world.
That's the best team, but they also said that they've lost a lot of their coaches to overseas recently. So.
Oh, that's not fair. That's typical big market teams taking the teams to the little guys. That's so unfair. Let's see. Seth Allen.
This is a two-part.
Okay, starts with a two-part. All right. Mm-hmm. It starts with a bit of a backstory. I was watching him practice out with Cale LaVisca, and he had mentioned that his furthest flying disc was a mid-range. So my question is there any sort of noticeable characteristics of a disc that I should be looking for to get more distance? Okay, so his farthest flying disc is not a mid-range. If he actually had to throw a disc as far as possible, it would not be a mid-range disc for sure. What he was probably referencing was that with the least amount of effort, he probably gets the disc to fly farther. It can also, mid-ranges can fly farther off of hills, like downhill shots, because they don't fade. Like, I don't know if there's ever been a disc that would fly farther than a buzz if you threw it off like the world's largest cliff, because it doesn't fade right or left. If you get it flat, it's going to keep going straight. But that's why there's more of him saying that than the actual reality that his mid-range flies the farthest. Characteristics of a disc that you're looking for to get more distance. It depends on how far you throw. If you throw over 400 feet, you want to throw high double-digit speed discs for distance. If you throw under 400 feet, under 350, you probably want to throw 8 or 9 speeds. You want to look for a disc that has close to 0 on the turn and the lowest number of fade possible, generally is going to fly the farthest. Here's something you've always wondered. Oh, good. If you've always wondered it, I'm about to dazzle you with my answer. Let's see. Here's something I always wondered. How does a touring pro balance their tour life and their personal life? Love the content. Rooting for you all season. Love from Charlotte. Thank you so much. So I'll tell you, this is a really good question. If you want to be successful at sports, you don't have a balanced life. No one who's successful at sports has a truly balanced life, or at least they didn't have a balanced life for many, many years. You have to be completely obsessed with the thing that you want to do. If you have a balanced life, you're competing against a lot of players that don't have balanced lives, who will have dedicated more time and effort and commitment to the sport than you. It's just not conducive to a balanced life, being great at anything. I mean, if you're an entrepreneur and you want to start $1 million business, it's not a part-time business. It can't be. It has to be an obsession. So there isn't balance. Now, I know Simon now has a wife and a kid, and he has a home. He has balance in his life. And Paul's married. Hannah, who I really like, and they seem to have a great relationship, and he has a balanced life. But that balanced life came after, many, many years of obsession. So yeah, so when you're trying to be a world champion, balance is not what you do. What you should be doing. And I'll give you an example of this. I get asked all the time, very common question, because I do so much work. I give all my prize money to charity. I run all these special needs events. I do all these special needs classes. I do so much, more than anybody, player wise, as far as my time and commitment to giving back and doing charity work. Right. And I get asked by people, how can we get more pros to do stuff like I do, to give back and do charity work and, donate their time, etc. And my answer is always, I don't think they should. Not now. Right now, a touring pro between the ages of 16 and 30 something, they should be 100% selfish. As a professional athlete, you have a very small window of time, and their focus should be 100% on trying to be a world champion, trying to build their brand, trying to put themselves in a position where they can capitalize on their name and accomplishments so they can stay in disc golf the rest of their lives. There's plenty of time to do that stuff later. And I would highly encourage everybody, all those players as they get older, to recognize that they can use their name to affect wonderful change in the world, and they can accomplish a lot. But not when you're 25. When you're 25, if you want to be a world champion, your focus needs to be on being a world champion. It's not anything else, not even doing good in the world, in my opinion, which everyone thinks is a strange answer coming from me, but that's what I think. I dedicated myself to playing when I was really playing, and now I'm able to reap many life rewards and able to give back because of what I was able to achieve by not having balance in my life. Long answer. Did the nomad philosophy start after someone stole your trailer? No. I've had this philosophy. I mean, I was already 10 years on the road at that point. As far as not having stuff, I mean, I used to have more stuff, and I've slowly, that took time to, figure out that I needed less and less. I will tell you that when we had for those of you who don't know, we were traveling with a trailer. It had merchandise in it, but also the stuff that we kind of wanted to have as keepsakes, but we didn't have a home for. We were dragging around with us as well. I had, pictures of photo albums and stuff like that. We had some stuff in there like that, quite a bit. And it got stolen in Oklahoma City. Someone stole our trailer. Every single picture I had of my mom before she passed away, and my dad, I got 0 pictures of my mom, for example. All that was stolen. And we had already given away just about everything to travel, Adriana and I, 3 years ago. But we were still left with the last stuff we wouldn't part with. And it was almost like cutting the cord in a weird way. Now, I'm not saying if I had the choice, I wouldn't like to have some of that stuff back. Pictures of my mom. Adriana has pictures of her kids that she'll never get back. Like, yeah, those things were nice to have. But it's also possible that if they were in a storage unit, we may have died not having ever gone to the storage unit, popping open the box and looking at them. And if we did once in our, you know what I mean? Like, we didn't need it. And so once it was gone, it was like, well, now we got nothing else to lose. Now you can't even take anything from us. And the last bit of being tied to something was gone. And so there was this weight off our shoulders. I'm speaking for Adriana, but we had this weight off our shoulders because now we don't have anything. Like, now you can't hurt, like, nobody can hurt us now. Like, we don't have stuff that you can hurt. I guess you could hurt us, but physically. Yeah. So it's not
when the sharks eat me when I go scuba diving.
When the sharks eat you,
that'll hurt me.
Oh, by the way, ladies, if the sharks eat her, I will be single. I'm just saying. Kind of a catch. Look what
he does with his girlfriends. Do you really want that?
What if I bring? if I bring my girlfriend's house?
Shark bait.
Well, yeah, I don't need to outrun. I don't need to outrun the shark. I just need to outrun you. I don't need to
Which you will easily do.
Yeah, I don't need to outswim the shark. I need to outswim you. I'm just saying. Look, I'm not saying that I'll be happy when you're gone. I'm just saying I'll be single. Send your resumes to start preparing your resumes now because we're going scuba diving in a month, and you might be in Australia by Christmas. That's all I'm saying.
The nomad philosophy for me started in about 2011, so it also existed for me before you.
Yeah, Adriana traveled for 7 years as a nomad before me. We've both had the philosophy, but it doesn't mean we completely cut ties with everything. So losing the trailer was kind of like the last 10%. But this is how we live. We live on the road. Did I originate the use of the Siderman disc golf? I was the only player in the 90s using it. Yeah, if you look back at any single tournament video from the 90s, you will see one player in the world throwing sidearm, and that was me. Nobody on tour did it. I used it interchangeably. I was a 50-50 player, but I was far from the originator of that throw. The throw, well, first off, it was originated when the first flying disc was invented, probably within the first 3 throws. Somebody tried throwing a disc sidearm, but it was really, it was the Healy brothers in Upper Peninsula, Michigan in the late 50s, early 60s were probably the first to actually use it. The Berkeley 6 in the 60s were definitely using that throw. There were 6 of the original Frisbee players. And then in the 60s, Victor Malafronte and Ken Westerfield, among others, mastered the throw. And that was all the way back in the 70s. So like I was far from the originator of the throw. I like to think that I played my part in evolving it and making it, like, improving upon it, throughout the evolution of the sport. I mean, to this day, there's a video on my Instagram I think it's pinned to the top, where I throw a 600-foot sidearm, flat ground with very little wind. I threw a sidearm 600 feet, and that was like 2 months ago at 52 years old then. So I took the throw to a whole nother level for sure, but definitely didn't invent it. What's your favorite barbecue flavor out of the 4 you offered? Do you have plans to make any more? I would definitely make more if I can sell the $20,000 worth of barbecue sauce that I already bought. I don't know if I'm able to sell.
It's going.
And no, they're selling, and people love them. They're really good. My favorite, I like the Texas, but I mean, it's it's food. It's very personal. We pulled a picture of the barbecue sauce. I got 4 flavors of barbecue sauce, Stokely sauce, that I produce that are available at scottstokely.net also. California spicy, Texas smoky, Kansas City sweet, and Carolina vinegar, and they're fantastic all 4 bottles for $30 in custom bottles. They're really good, everybody. Like seriously. And if you buy them, please taste them or put pictures in your social media eating the sauce and telling everybody how good they are. That way I can sell them, please. Somebody. Let's see. All right, so you got a picture of the barbecue sauce? Okay, here's the picture of the barbecue sauce. Ready? Drum roll.
Oh, the pressure.
The pressure. You know what? I'm going to feed you to the sharks.
I know. Oh, no.
Baby shark, do, baby. No. Come on. Okay, so, there they go. Here's the 4 flavors of barbecue sauce. Those are the 4 bottles. And they spell a word, but I don't know what that word is because I dropped out of school when I was 15 years old to play Frisbee full time. So I'm not that good at reading, but I think it spells something. I think it spells tuberculosis or credenza, maybe. Baltimore.
I thought you said you tested out of school.
Oh, well, I did test out of school. Yeah, I did. I test out. It was the stupidest thing ever in California. All you got to do, every graduating senior in California took a test called the California High School Proficiency Examination to test your levels. And all you had to do at any point in high school, this is so stupid, is that if you wanted to graduate high school, not a GED, an actual diploma, all you had to do was take it's called the CHSP, the California High School Proficiency Examination. You take that test, and if you score better than 50% of the graduating seniors who are graduating, then you are proficient and you get a diploma. So I dropped out of school basically in the 9th grade. I stopped going to school in the 9th grade. In the 10th grade, I officially dropped out and I took the test, which was easy. Like I passed it. Like I remember walking out of the test thinking, I don't think I missed a single question. These were all, it was stupid. And so I passed it. So technically I am a high school graduate. Yeah. But I never passed the class in high school. I mean, I didn't. When in the 9th grade, I never went to a single class. I just played. I went to school. I had discs in my locker. My mom would drop me off. I put my books in my locker. I'd get my discs out. I'd play Frisbee golf all day. At 3 o'clock, I would go back to school, put my discs back in the locker, get my books out, go home, eat, go back to the park, and play till dark. That's all I did every single day for the 9th grade. And at the end of the 9th grade, like I hadn't gone to class in a year and they passed me because, I think they just no child left behind or something. So they passed me. And then the next year I just officially dropped out and took the test. So stupid. I'm not a big fan of the system. I thought it wasn't for me. That's for sure.
Oh, she's talking about Bruce.
Yeah. Did that man know what impact it has on my future? Oh yeah, absolutely. I talk to Bruce somewhat regularly. Still do. I saw him. I had dinner with him a year ago.
When we were in Portland.
Yeah. Eugene.
Oh, Eugene.
Yeah. I had dinner with him. I even talked to his daughter still, who I went to her birthday party. I went to her 13th birthday party when I was 12 years old. I don't talk to her a lot, but I talk to her once in a while. Yeah, he knows what he means to me. I wrote about him in my book. Have I watched Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas? There's a great song in the movie called Barbecue. I have no idea what any of those words mean, but I think anything that's called Jug Band Christmas. Well, I mean, I like Christmas, and who doesn't love a good jug band? Are we talking about like Appalachia Jug Band? Where you hit your sides and you hit.
That sounds like high entertainment.
I think that sounds like high entertainment. I'll look it up. Do I know Al Shack? Of course I know Al Shack. I haven't talked to him in 25 or 23 years, but I knew Al. Al was one of the top players in the 90s for sure. So there was an era, the second half of the 90s. Like Ken was number 1, I was number 2. Barry and Ron were competing. Both Barry and Ron. I mean, Ron won Worlds in '99. Barry went on to be better than me as well. But in the 90s, I was like a tick above them for a number of years. And then there was like the four of us were like I think we were like our own like segment, you know. And then but then among the like there's a lot of other good players like Mikey Randolph and Joe Mella and Jeff Malton, Mike Moser, Brad Schick, Kevin McCoy, Mike Sayre, Jeff Lissaman, Al Shack. I mean, there's a bunch of great players. And then, of course, the year Tomas and Svante and Jesper, even Martin Fredrickson before then. So there were a ton of top players that were also in that competitive, like Coeur competitive at any given time. Like my last World Championships, I was going into the semifinals. I was in 5th place going into the semifinals. Al Shack was in 4th. And I was 6 strokes behind him going into the semifinals. And I shot the course record. I shot 11 under in the rain at the course at Chilai to move into 4th place and play move into the finals. And Al finished 5th at the World Championships. What was this I was struggling? Wow, you could be a plant, Mac. These are the Scott Stokely Universe discs. These are full color Discraft ESP buzzes. You can get these at scottstokely.net. And all 3 of these.
They're so much more beautiful in person than it looks on camera.
Yeah, they are beautiful in person. I sleep with them. That's kind of weird, huh? I shower with them. Go ahead. I juggle them. I can do tricks with them. Here, check this one out. I'll show you a trick. There we go. How about that? I think my tongue was like out like this. I thought I was doing it. All right. Will I still be doing live Facebook shows when I leave the U.S.? 100% for sure. I'm having so much fun with everybody. I love to see everybody every Friday night. I don't see the only thing that I might change the night, because Friday night, depending on where I am, like I don't want to be doing this at like 6 o'clock in the morning when I have a tournament on Saturday. So I might move the date around. Yeah, but this is great. I love hanging with everybody. I mean, you guys are my friends, and everybody can check in and say hi. And I just love hearing from everybody. I'm one of these people, like, I mean, social media gets the worst rap ever. And like, I understand the things people don't like about it, but I think, this is my theory, that a lot of it is people get back what they put out. Because go look at my last 500 Facebook posts and you won't see a negative comment in there. There's no politics, there's no religion, there's nobody being shitty to each other. Everybody's nice. And I'm not deleting people. This is all just the people, that the audience that I've built. It's the energy of this thing. So I'm putting something out that's positive, and all I get back is positive. I love social media, but also like all my friends, like from all over the world, I get to hang out with them. Like, I love it. I can't wait. I'm for sure gonna be doing this every week. Okay, all right, hold on. I'm gonna be right back because I'm going to go over here for some reason, but I'm not going to say what I'm going to do. But here, I'm going to put that right there, and I'll be back though. Don't go. Don't go. Tell them not to go.
Are we making more coffee right now? Is that what we're doing?
No.
No? I don't get more coffee?
You can have more coffee.
Oh.
You may.
By the way, that coffee was really good.
Which coffee? Oh,
the one we bought at the gas station.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a cool question.
I'm back. And by the way, did I mention that if Adriana gets eaten by a shark in Australia, that I'll be single? Ladies? Just saying. I think let's see, who am I going to, I'm trying to think
of. It would be very suspicious if all of a sudden, like you offered to buy life insurance for me or something.
That's a really good idea. I should get life insurance on you. By the way, if anybody wants to really conspire, I have a life insurance policy on me. I don't have one on her, but I have one on me for her. Since I'm...
So who's getting eaten?
Yeah. All I'm saying is, I'm trying to think of who I want to replace you with. Should I go for money or looks, or should I just go for both? I'm going to go for...
Good question.
I don't know. I'll have to think this one over. Maybe you can help. Let's talk. I'll talk it over with you. You can help me decide.
Ooh, take a poll.
I should take a poll. Who should I replace Adriana with? All right. By the way, if you don't get eaten by a shark, I'll keep you around.
If I never get in the water, then I don't have any chance of getting eaten. So
if you don't get in the water scuba diving, I'm going to meet some hot scuba diving chick on the boat. And
okay, I don't have a problem with that.
I know you don't. I know. It's 2022, everybody. All right. Suggestions for a disc golf game that works for all ages. They can be played in a short amount of time, not pig. This is an intro disc golf for coworkers. Missing every shot can be discouraging, and this has to be as easy as possible. Okay, so here's the thing. I disagree with something you say. If you play the game of golf, it doesn't matter if a person makes a hole in 2 shots or 7 shots. They're playing to see how many shots they can get the hole in. And it's not discouraging in a bad way. I mean, people that aren't good at ball golf that shoot 120 will still pay tons of money and spend 5 hours on a golf course shooting, and they still enjoy the game. Like, people that bowl suck at bowling. If you don't bowl, you're no good at bowling, and you miss most shots and you still enjoy bowling. So I don't think people get discouraged when they're missing. Now, if they're just putting, then that's not disc golf, that's putting. So I would say play the game of disc golf. Now, you can make shorter holes. Like when I do my special needs classes, we play disc golf every single time. I never just putt at my special needs classes. We always play disc golf. We never play actual courses. We make up different tees because a hole can be, like if it's your coworkers, a hole could be 200 feet long, 150 feet. It's still a hole. Like, it doesn't have to be a pro hole for it to be a hole. And maybe they get 4s on it. But I would say, I don't think of it as being discouraging. The reason why it's not discouraging, by the way, is that everybody that plays the hole, unless they quit, will succeed at the end. They'll end the hole by making a shot. So I don't think that they're going to be discouraged. I would encourage you to play the actual game of golf, but it doesn't have to be on a hard course, their first day.
Here we go. This is.
Tell Adriana to rub Stokely sauce on you before you go scuba diving. She wants to collect on that insurance policy.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah. If I had $1 for every time you rubbed Stokely sauce all over me.
We would have
Stokely barbecue sauce. Don't get gross. No. Yeah. No, look, all I'm saying is, I'm not saying I want you to be eaten by a shark. I'm just saying.
I know you got plans.
I'm just saying I've got backup plans. It's called being responsible. Right? It's one thing you love about me is that I'm responsible.
It's adaptable, right?
It's adaptable.
That's a hallmark of being a good entrepreneur.
Yeah, see, I'm a good entrepreneur. Like, I can adapt. I adapt. Now, but on the other hand, if I get eaten by a shark, I'm irreplaceable. So I don't know what you're going to do.
I'll have insurance money.
You'll have insurance money, but I'm still irreplaceable.
I'll have fond memories.
Did I ever venture to Canada to play? You live in BC, and I made the whole course called Turtle Ridge. I would love to show you the funnest little course you'll ever play. I would love to go up there. I have a really good friend. I have a couple good friends in British Columbia, Carver Whitford and Glenn Whitlock. And like, I would love to go up there, but it's going to be several years before I'm back in North America, year and a half minimum. So
when we were up there, the borders were so close.
Yeah, the borders are closed when I was there. So we didn't get to go up there last time because we talked about going up there. We actually talked about taking a train from Vancouver to Calgary. Just because I've never really done a train trip before. There's a Rocky Mountain train trip we wanted to do. And then I also wanted to go backpacking in Banff Park because I've seen the pictures and I like backpacking. But we'll go up there. But it's going to be a little while. Does Gateway put you on any Glow Wizards? I don't have. It's not that late. I don't have any Glow Wizards, so I don't know. Do they have Glow Wizards?
Yeah.
Okay. Apparently they have Glow Wizards.
We wasn't just aware. Have any in Tour Series.
Yeah, none in the Tour Series. Hey, by the way, real quick, if you're tuning in late, two things. Number one, my 6-month online Become a Complete Disc Golfer class is taking signups now. It just went live today. Everything I do fills. So if you want to get in on the 6-month class, by the way, you can pay monthly. You don't even have to pay the whole thing up front. You can pay month to month for the 6 months, but it starts in November. It's going to fill. Go to scottstokely.net to read more. And one more thing. Let's get some weird questions too, but one more thing. The later the night goes, pull the picture up. I came across a sleeve of these. It's the first run not for prototype, but the first run Ching Juju. It's an out of production. Well, the company's out of business called Ching, so the disc is out of production. But this is a first run disc from 2004, I believe. And the Fusion plastic is the only ones ever run in the Fusion plastic. They have thumb tracks at different distances. The whole idea, Mike had, was to put thumb hole like divots so you could grip the disc better. And by the way, they work. It's really nice, but at different distances because people hold their thumbs at different distances. Most common question people ask is, does it affect the flight of the disc? And I don't know if it changes the flight because I've never thrown a Juju without the thumb tracks to compare it side by side. But it's a great flying disc as it is. Like, it's a fantastic flying golf disc, and it's fun. But more important, it's a collector's disc. If you search for this disc on eBay, you will see them going for as much as $250 a piece, and some of those that are over $100 are used. So there's used Jujus, not even first runs, for going for over $100. And I have a bunch of these at scottstokely.net for $50 a piece that I came across. So it's a cool disc to have in your collection. So I encourage you to check it out. What's the deal with iodized salt?
You wanted weird.
I wanted weird questions. Oh, God. Come on, tell me something smart.
All salt is sea
salt. All salt is sea salt. That's my favorite when they advertise. When they advertise this is sea salt as opposed to volcano salt. But what's the deal with iodized? That sounds like
do you use iodized salt?
Do I use iodized? I don't know.
You just use whatever they put on the table at the restaurant.
I use whatever they put on the table. Yeah. No. By the way, that sounds like a Jerry Seinfeld line. What's the deal?
It does.
Doesn't it sound like that? I think that's what it's supposed to sound like. All right, send me more weird questions. I will dazzle you with my wit. I just failed on that one. D-. What do I think about the new Silver Series at North Cove in Western North Carolina, where they have college nationals? I have not played it yet or seen coverage. I don't know, but it's great. North Carolina is like the most traditionally it's just about the most epic state to play disc golf in. So I think it's really cool that they're doing the event there in North Carolina. I can't wait. I mean, I won't be there for it, but it's great. Am I ever going to offer the Scott Stokely Tear It Up Snow Globe? It being your scorecard. Tear It Up Snow Globe. I like the idea of the snow globe. You know, I've been trying to get, what are the Funko Pops?
Yeah.
I've been trying to get a Scott Stokely Funko Pop, and the company won't even get back to me. They are so, I don't want to say they're stupid in case they watch this and then they get mad at me. They're really, really, really smart and handsome and beautiful people, but they don't realize that we would sell thousands of these things. And so, which, by the way, that's probably nothing to them. That's probably why they're not getting back to me, but they're wrong. They should. But I would do snow globes if I thought I could sell them. One thing I learned, though, the problem with all these things is this is why I have so much barbecue sauce, is you can't get good prices on these things unless you buy thousands of them. And if you can't sell thousands of them, then you lose money.
Hundreds of thousands for like certain things, like the price points on certain items that you have manufactured. You have to have tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands to get them to
it's just
like
they crush you. Okay, so who is Eric Wise? Non-disc golf question. I seem to recall. Look it up. Help me out here. Hold on. I'm going to tell you. I seem to recall who Eric Wise is. Hold on. I'm going to remember.
It's coming to me.
It's coming to me. Hurry! They're waiting. This is dead time in the media world.
Houdini?
Is that Houdini?
Yeah.
I think it's Harry Houdini, who was more of an escape artist than a magician. And by the way, he didn't die because some kid punched him in the stomach and he ruptured something. That's the dumbest urban myth ever. I don't know if that's true or not, but I think it's a myth.
Stokely bobbleheads?
Stokely bobbleheads. Yeah, bobbleheads, there were disc golf bobbleheads 20 years ago, but they've kind of gone out of fashion. So I don't want to do bobbleheads. I want to do Funko Pops. Funko Pops are the bobbleheads, the modern bobbleheads. How those meals go in a big tournament? How dose meals?
How do you, like, if you are playing during mealtime, what do you do?
Yeah. High protein, low carb. You don't crash. You last way longer without having to eat. If I do a high protein, well, I mean, I don't do carbs now anyways, basically. But when I do a high protein breakfast, like I can go 6 or 7 hours and not even feel hungry. It's everybody said that would happen, and I thought they were just like preaching some keto BS, and it's like, oh no, it kind of does happen. Your insulin
you can
doesn't
also
spike and
eat before or after, like when you're lunchtime. Like we'll try and like if you're gonna tee off at like 1, we'll eat.
Yeah, I just schedule eating right before my round, but I mean, it's the protein thing. You don't crash. Carbs make you crash. Carbs suck. They're the enemy. All right. What's my favorite punk band? Oh God, probably Baldo Rex. Baldo Rex is a punk band out of Denver that they're the ones that converted me. But I loved Pinhead Circus, the Fairlanes, Armchair Martian, Suicide Fan Club. The Nobodies were great. These are all every one of these is a Colorado band. I mostly like bands that I could go see play, and then I could go, like, either if not hang out with, I could, I would sit at the bar and chat with them. So I like bands I could see live. I liked live music more than anything. I liked bands like Fester, which is a band. I liked bands that sucked. They were my favorite bands. Like I loved going to shows where like 3 kids got their instruments like a month ago. They learned 2 songs. Each of them were like a minute and 15 seconds long. So they would play each song 3 times, and that was their set. And they sucked. Like that is by far my favorite way to listen to like my favorite type of music, because that's punk rock. But I do still like, you know, NoFX and Pennywise and Mudhoney. Um, I still like some skate punk bands from the '90s, and I liked Guar, the America Must Be Destroyed and Scumdogs of the Universe. I considered them more punky than metal. So, and I saw the Ramones on the final tour. That was really great. I sat like this far from Joey Ramone. I could have like kissed his feet. I probably should have. I didn't. What do you think of the 23 tour schedule is just released? I think it's great. I mean, I think it looks a lot like this year. It's not that much different. I mean, they got rid of like Belton got moved to Austin, which is heartbreaking because the people in Belton crushed. Like, I don't know. I hope they didn't lose the tournament because they thought Austin could do a better job. I mean, well, the tour should always evolve. And so if any tournament could do a better job or a bigger job or have more money or better parking or more spectators than a tournament on tour, like it's in the best interest of the tour to lose tournaments and let other tournaments in. So if that's why they did it, it's not unfair. But I can tell you that I was bummed because Belton crushed. They crushed. They knocked it out of the park. And so even if it's a good decision, I feel bad for the Belton people if they didn't want to lose it. So it's but other than that, I mean, the tournament seems very similar. They're going to Canada. That's different. I think that's really, really cool. And then going to Western North Carolina. But it's not much different. It's similar. Ever play any disc golf courses in New York? Yeah, of course. I played all over New York. I played everywhere from Lewiston down to Warwick and up to Albany and Ithaca. The World Championships were in Rochester and Shiloh. I played in Syracuse and I don't know, other places as well. Oh, Long Island. Let's see. How long have you two been on this awesome adventure together? We met almost 3 years ago.
We met before the pandemic. But we didn't get actually serious.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I won't bore anybody with the long story. They heard it before. But the short of it is, I decided I was going to travel by myself for the first time ever. I've always had partners. And when I break up with someone, I meet someone like I get together with the waitress at the first restaurant I eat, and then we're together for a year. I don't I don't do well alone ever. So I was like, I'm going to be alone for the first time ever. And I'm going to travel and I'm going to tour by myself and I'm just going to meet people everywhere I go. So what I was doing was I knew where I was going to be, is that I would go on dating sites about 2 weeks before I was going to be in a town. That way I had 2 weeks to meet somebody, because that way every time I went to a new town, I already had a girlfriend in that town while I was there. I'd have a place to stay usually and companionship and whatever. So like I was in Houston and I was going to be in Fort Worth in a couple of weeks. And so I'm on a dating app in Fort Worth and met Adriana. And like, I told her, this is the funniest part. Like I said this to everybody. Like, I'm not messing with people or misleading anybody. I'm like, look, I'm a really nice guy. We're going to have she said I could stay with her when I came to town. And I'm like, cool, I'm a nice guy. You're going to have a great time. I said, but 2 things. Number one, I'm not staying. Like, just don't get it in your head that I'm like you're going to somehow convince me to stay. I'm not staying. And number 2, you're not coming with me. I was adamant about that. I'm not staying and you're not coming with me. And I stayed for a week and left, just like I said. But then we kept talking, and then I came back to visit and she came out to visit. And then I was in North Carolina when the pandemic hit. And I was like, oh, shoot. They said they were going to close all the borders. And I was actually with Tiffany, right? Yeah, I was with Tiffany, my Raleigh friend. And she was awesome. But when they said they're going to close the borders, I'm like, I got to go. I got to go back. I got to go back to Fort Worth. So I drove all the way across the country to quarantine with Adriana. And then after by June, a couple months later, we took off together. Sorry if that's boring you if you heard the story before.
So Ray Murray says that the Open moves around. So Belton had it for a couple of years. He was on staff with it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's I'm glad. So Belton might get it back. It moves around. Okay, good. I'm glad because they're like the Belton people are so great. There's nothing about them that was awesome. I've never played Roy G in Austin, Texas, but I heard it's a homeless camp. Isn't part of the course like a homeless camp? Is that the course where like you can't play the whole course? It's a shame, but I don't know if that's. I think that's what I've heard. But I've heard that Roy G is one of the best courses in the world. Have I ever played Glow Round? Any tips for playing one? I have played a ton of Glow Rounds over the years. I used to, when I was traveling around the country, I used to run Glow tournaments all over the country. Tips for playing one? Yeah. First off, the first tip is play them. They're really, really fun. Don't just light up your disc. Get these little LED lights. Tournament director might have them for sale. You tape them to the bottom of your disc. You'll be shocked, but you can tape a little light to the bottom of your disc. It does not even affect the flight of the disc. But if you just, like we used to take cameras with no film, but we'd put a battery in the old camera. We'd flash. Everybody close your eyes, everybody. We'd hold discs up and go flash. And we'd flash the light and they would glow. But they notoriously ran out of glow by the time you got to them. Watch your eyes. If you go into the bushes or something like that, walk with your hand over your face like this because you don't want to get a stick into your eye. That's probably the biggest thing. But the biggest advice is just play them. They're really fun, especially when it's warm out. I mean, you'll have a great time. But get the little LED lights. That's critical. Favorite TV show of all time? It's God. I mean, the greatest show of all time was The Simpsons. The first 10 seasons. Like the first 10 seasons of The Simpsons, there's never been anything like it. If you watch The Simpsons now, you won't get it. Even if you watch the first 10 seasons now, you won't get it. Like you had to have lived through Simpsons in the 90s. There was nothing like it. But dig the Ali G show. I dig Jackass on MTV. Jackass was great. South Park was amazing. Love Cheers. Yeah, it's probably it. Billy Buckner. I was at Fenway Park 2 days ago. Ayo, my man. Stokely, what do you think of Motley Crue? What do you think of Motley Crue live in Kansas City '89? Not a big Motley Crue. I wasn't a big hair band guy. I was more like I like punk, and I kind of hated the hair bands. So don't get mad at me. Don't stop like buying my stuff or coming to my classes. But I never liked that. I had respect for the Metallica's, Megadeth's, Testament. Like I had respect for the real metal bands for sure, but the pop stuff I didn't really love. I even saw Iron Maiden with Anthrax in concert, and like I completely respected what they did, but it was still, Ozzy, like that was all kind of too poppy for me. Don't get mad at me. I mean, I love them. Buy my discs. Were you happier in your 20s or your 30s? Oh God, that's a terrible question. I'm happier now. How about that? I've never in my entire life been happier than I am the last several years, and especially the last year. It's been the single best year of my life. But I would give everything. I would give up everything in my life to be 20 years old again. Like there's nothing to replace youth. So I'm happier now. My life's better than it's ever been, but being 20 is kind of like the raddest thing ever. So, I mean, I played disc golf, toured throughout my 20s, and my 30s. I was making a ton of money on the internet, having a great time. Now that there's a spike in disc golf in the pandemic, what do you think future trajectory will be? So we're not stopping. It's not like that we're going to go on the decline. Basically, what's happening is, oh, hey, Joe Rossi had a question about Chris Holmes. I told you about him. I'll get to that. Yeah, no. So disc golf spent like 40-something years growing at like 10 to 15% a year, and then it spiked like 40% for a couple years. So instead of being here, it accelerated to here, and now it's going to go back to its 10 to 15% growth. But it's starting at like a really high level. It's not stopping. Disc golf is like, I mean, it just like we won. Disc golf won. Disc golf is part of the culture. It's going to be around forever, not as a side thing. It's going to be a majorly huge sport that lots and lots and lots of people do. I mean, it'll ebb and flow. You'll have ups and downs, just like, just like tennis does, just like bowling, just like golf, like any other sport. It's going to do this at some point, but I don't think that's anytime soon. I think it's still doing this for many, many years to come. Just got here. Did I announce any new discs or merch? Oh my God, Tim, thank you very much. Sure. I have I'll go ahead and post it just for you. I could people just jump in and ask the best questions. This is the Juju from Ching Discs. It is an out of production. Well, the company's out of business, so the discs are out of production. This is a first run. It came out in 2004. This is in the first runs were in this fusion plastic and never made it into fusion plastic again. So even if these discs were being produced, this is the first and only run in this plastic. It has thumb tracks, different distances from the rim. So you pick where you think your thumb fits best and throw it from there. But this is the first run of the Ching Juju. They are, if you go on, well, I'm selling them they're on my website. I came across a whole sleeve of them for $50 a piece. If you go on eBay and search for Ching Juju, you'll see them listed between $80 and $250 a piece. Some of them used and not even first runs, going for hundreds of dollars. And I'm selling them for $50 a piece because with my travel and I'm about to leave the country, I can't put discs up on eBay and track them. And then when they get expensive, and then ship them one at a time from a post office. So I'm selling for $50 a piece. I think if you bought a handful and then just started putting them up on eBay, you'll probably triple your money. I can't promise, but you'll probably double or triple your money on them. But $50 a piece at scottstokely.net. Just go to shop at the top. You'll find them.
And your class.
Oh, and my class. My 6-month online Become a Complete Disc Golfer class is taking signups now. It started today. It's just started today. It's going to fill. They all fill. I have 6 classes going on right now that started in May and June. They're going to be ending in October and November. So when the first set of 3 classes ends in October, those time slots will be taken up with the new classes that start in November. But you can read all about it at scottstokely.net. I'm so proud. It's like the teaching-wise, it's the thing I'm most proud of. I put so much into this, and everybody's just jamming on it. They're loving it. Are there any brands that I only bag one mold from? I will be announcing the Baobab. That's just one mold. But I got 2 Gateway discs and 3 Castoplast. And I'll have 5 dynamics and probably 1 P Waka Waka from RPM, but that's a secret. Shh, don't tell anybody. I only had 1 disc from Birdie the Marvel, but I'm really hot on the strike. I've only thrown it a little bit, so I'm not committed. But what I've thrown of it so far, I think it's going to wind up in my bag. It's a great disc. Weird question for you. Do you consider your big toe to be your thumb toe or your pointer toe? Holy crap, I've never thought of it as either.
That is a weird toe.
I said I want weird questions.
Is your
your
second toe longer than your first toe?
No. Well, it depends. I got kind of bent weird toes. Well, the big toe, I guess it has to be my thumb toe just because I don't ever point with it. I've never stuck my foot out and said, over there. So I guess it would have to be interesting.
So it's a thumb toe then.
Well, I think
don't point with your thumb.
No, it's a thumb, but it's the one that went to market, right?
No, that was the little pig.
No,
that was Wee Wee Wee.
Yeah, so this little piggy went to. So it's the piggy that went to the market. So it's the shop. It's called the shopper toe.
Okay.
That's a really anytime you take 90 seconds and your joke fails, so I'll take a D- on that one too. Sorry, everybody. Do you sell hats? Stokely band soon, very very soon. I'll be announcing hats. Yes, I will be. Didn't he die of a burst appendix? No, he died of something, and they blamed being punched in the stomach or something like that. I by the way, don't quote me on this. I could be wrong, but I just believe the big story was the story everybody said was that he would tighten up his stomach and challenge anybody to punch it, and some kid backstage without warning him punched him in his stomach, and it killed him. And it's like that doesn't make any sense. People get punched in the stomach all the time and don't die. So like I think that it's a myth, but I don't know. You gotta go Google it.
Wikipedia says he was struck on the leg by a piece of faulty equipment.
Oh, the Wikipedia says he was struck on his leg.
And that's how he died.
Said he was struck on the leg by a piece of faulty equipment. Okay, I know that I've never heard. Okay, now that's also a myth. All right. Let's see. Deodorant recommendations. Okay, I said weird questions. They're getting weird questions. Deodorant recommendations. It depends. Like, I would say...
It depends on if you need antiperspirant.
Do you need antiperspirant? I was going to give him bad advice. I was going to tell him to put malt vinegar on there.
No, apple cider vinegar.
Yeah, apple cider vinegar, because that's what the hippies use. Apple cider vinegar and patchouli oil. Trust me. The ladies will be lining up.
I did that for an entire year. Did I ever tell you that?
No.
I did.
Before me.
Well, obviously. But when I first got to where we were traveling full time.
Right.
Like we went.
You rub vinegar on your armpit?
Oh, and everything. Yeah. I used it for my shampoo too.
Vinegar shampoo?
Yeah, apple cider vinegar.
Cider vinegar.
Mm-hmm, and when you rinse it off enough, it doesn't even smell. But it actually neutralizes the bad bacteria, so you don't smell.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I guess it kind of makes sense. The only thing is it just vinegar. No, I'd rather be convinced by products. Here's the good one for you, though. You don't need shampoo, everybody. Just use soap.
You don't.
Shampoo... I'm sorry, Shane. Like, you can use regular bar soap on your hair, and it's as good as like expensive shampoo. And they market products identical the products they market to men, they market identical products to women, and they charge more. Like there are like Gillette.
It's called the pink tax.
Gillette will charge pink like an extra $1 for like a bag of 10 pink razors, ladies razors that are identical to the men. What do you mean ladies razors? Like what, like a piece of sharp metal can tell what gender you are. But they will charge more. Well, they do the same thing with shampoo and they upsell products because they're taking advantage of people's insecurities. And so all that high-end shampoo, it's all BS, everybody. You can use bar soap. By the way, do a double-blind test. Wash your hair with bar soap, or don't tell the person, your partner, if you're going to use bar soap or expensive shampoo. Wash your hair and then have them guess which one you use. Like it's a coin flip. Sorry, Dove. Don't get mad at me. Or I don't know what are the expensive shampoos? Probably not Dove.
I don't know. Paul Mitchell.
Gotta be a salon. Screw you, Paul Mitchell, and your hair salon cartel. How dare you take advantage of my friends? Kiss, marry, destroy. Paul Macbeth, Kristen Tatar, Natalie Ryan. I'm going to say... I don't know. I've never had a bad experience with any of them, and they've all been super nice to me, and they're also they're all in my disc golf tribe. So I'm going to dodge that question. How about that?
Dodge it? Oh, I'm disappointed.
Yeah. Well, because how do you answer that question? Who do I want to destroy? Like if I say Natalie Ryan, I'm transphobic. If I say Kristen Tatar, then I'm sexist. And if I say Paul Macbeth, I'm jealous.
Okay.
So I can't. It's a no win. It's no win because I can't destroy any of them. I don't want to destroy anybody. I like everybody.
destroy on the course?
Destroy
all of them.
Oh my God, I would destroy all 3 of them on the course. Not even close. Duh. What's the favorite car I've ever had? Okay, I'm going to give you an answer because I've only had one car I've ever liked, which was we had a 2005 Jeep Wrangler named Luna. Luna is like we drove Luna everywhere, and she's off-roaded with us, and we've taken her. She's done fins and things, and she's done a bunch of other Jeep trails in Moab. That's the first car I've ever liked. So this is how stupid I am with cars. I'm not making this up. Like, I know so little about cars that I bought a car and I told everybody at work, like, hey, I got a new car. Like during the 3 years I actually had a job when I was selling software. I was like, yeah, I got a car. And they're like, oh, what do you get? I'm like, I got a Subaru. And they're like, oh, cool. We're in Colorado. Like, Subarus are great. So for like several months, I drove my Subaru to work. And then all of a sudden one of the people at work's like, dude, that's not a Subaru. That's a Saab. I'm like, what do you mean it's a Saab? It's a Subaru. They're like, no, it's a Saab. I'm like, well, how can you tell it's a Saab? And they're like, it says Saab on the back of the car. I had no idea that I owned a Saab. Like, I thought it was a Subaru. And that's how little I know about cars. I know so little about cars, and this is kind of embarrassing, but I'm going to admit it anyways. Sometimes when I go to the gas station, I'll like open up the back door and spray gasoline all over the back seat. Like, oh shit, oh God, oh no, gas tank, shoot, bad Scott. That's happened before, like a few times to me. Like, I know nothing about cars, and I hated cars. There's just, I can't wait for self-driving cars. Cars are stupid. And then I got a Jeep and fell in love with Jeeps. So yeah, I love Luna. Luna's great. Did I know that Chris Holmes from Wasp used to hang out at Oak Grove almost daily back in the late 70s? Yeah, I knew Chris Holmes. He when he was used to ride his mountain bike. Actually, funny thing, wasn't how many days I was talking about Chris Holmes like last week, right?
Yeah.
I was telling Adriana about Chris Holmes like actually 4 days ago. I was talking about Chris Holmes. Nice guy. He used to ride his mountain bike. He was really big in the mountain biking. And when I worked and owned the pro shop, he would always come by and drink Martinelli's apple juice, which is cool. And what's really funny is he was in the movie Decline of Western Civilization Part 2. I think he was living at his mom's house at the time. And he was like sitting, like getting drunk in this beautiful backyard pool. And they were at his mom's house in Flint Ridge in that show. I didn't like Wasp, though. If I was settling in one place, anywhere you want to, where would it be? Wherever they bury me. Like, I'm never going to stop. I will go until I fall over. Like, I will die on the road. Like, I don't ever want to be in a place. So if I had to settle in one place, like, I just, it's so hard to describe. I don't even know how to describe it. Like, you'd have to be in my head to get this. But like, you could offer me like the most, like, all the money in the world, literally all the money in the world, with the most beautiful house in the entire world, and I would 100% trade that to be able to drive around with Adriana and sleep in rest areas if I had to get to the next thing. I mean, you're the same. Would you agree?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, we it's just not. We can't be in a place. Like, variety. Like what is it? What's the expression? Travel is dangerous, but routine is deadly. Like, I can't be in one place. By the way, I don't think I'm better than other people. I don't knock other people. I mean, everybody's got to figure out what they like, but I will never be in a place. Or, I mean, I got to have variety in every single aspect of my life. What's up with the tilt? What's up with the
it?
What does it say? What's up with the It by Innova? Huh? I don't understand. What's up? Well, first off, what's up? What up with the It by Innova? Is there a typo there? If I'm missing something, then let's reset the question. In the bag, well, so far my Tour Series discs are the Birdie Marvel, the Harp, the Dynamic Harp, the Gateway Wizard, Gateway Assassin, the Lutz, the Stahl, and the Berg from Castoplast. And I'm about to release the Baobab from AGL. Oh, and the Assassin.
Joe says it's a new disc.
It's a new disc. I have never heard it. Never heard of it. Why can't manufacturers make Domi discs for the public? Most are flat at disc stores. That I don't have an answer for. I personally like flat discs, but I know a lot of people like the Domi stuff. So I don't know. I know that in the last couple of years, it's been so hard with plastics. Like everybody's been limited on what they can do. They're getting caught up now, but I mean, it was really hard for a while. Like, I mean, the manufacturers couldn't keep the plastic supply chains killed them, and then demand went through the roof at the same time. So, like, none of the stuff that you see, like what they did or can't do, necessarily will be reflective in the future.
So the chat is saying that the it is like a leopard, but with more turn.
No, yeah, I don't know. Never thrown it. What do you think about wax for grip? Have I tried it? I've never tried it. I don't know. Is wax legal?
Well, there's grip enhancers. I don't know about.
I don't even know what's legal as far as is that a disc modification or not. So I don't want to give the wrong answer there. I mean, chalk is certainly legal. I don't think it's necessary. I mean, your fingertips and especially if they're dry with chalk, just get the right type of plastic and you should be fine. But I don't know. I don't know if any type of actual grip enhancer is legal or not. But I honestly, I would say anything you added to a disc you would have inconsistent results because you would not have identical grip from one throw to the next. So I think it would probably hurt your game. I think. What do you think about a type of dualathon that combines disc golf and mountain bike racing? Here's the problem with that. It's the same reason most, like, very few ultimate players play disc golf and disc golfers play ultimate. More ultimate players are playing disc golf now, but disc golfers don't get into ultimate. It's anaerobic aactivities, and most people are one or the other. I mean, like, it just seems like you're crossing two different personalities. Like, I know a lot of people that are very much into mountain biking, or to say a lot, but I've known people very into mountain biking, and they would find disc golf incredibly boring. I'm not saying everybody, but it's a whole different. I think it's a different personality.
What's that game you told me about where you had to, like, run?
Oh, Discathon?
Yeah.
Yeah, no one liked Discathon. Like 6 people.
Well, explain it so people that don't know the history of it.
Oh, Discathon's one of the events they play. They still play at the overalls. It's a 1 kilometer race where the disc must traverse a course. Left of this tree, between these 2 trees, over this tree, under this thing. It doesn't, you run whichever way you want to, but the disc has to progress the course or traverse the course. So if you go all the way left of a tree and then right of a tree, well, if you throw a shot, you're running because you're doing it for time, not number of throws. You would be throwing shots around and then running in a straight line to where the disc is going to be landing, because that way you're hopefully running the shortest distance possible. But the problem is that it's a game that emphasizes running. Like, I was never good at Discathon because I couldn't run. But when I was playing the World Overall tournaments, if the game was how many throws can you complete the course in, I would have probably won because I was the best disc golfer at the overall tournaments, and that would be more like a game of golf, making shots. Although then you could argue, why have that game at all if you already have golf? So, but yeah,
was it like a solo run or was it a relay?
No, it's a solo run. But that's what killed me at the overalls. I was never a runner. I hated running. I'm slow. I'm tall. I have a high center of gravity, and you have to start and stop. Mm-hmm. Tall people can run distances if they get up to speed, but tall people are never quick. They don't start and stop. There's not a lot of 6'7" cornerbacks in the NFL guarding receivers because, like, your center of gravity is too high. Next time visit your daughter, stop in Appleton, check out the Houdini Historical Center. Most of the stuff's in PA. Actually, I saw when I was in Appleton, I saw the Houdini Museum there, or Historical Center. But she graduated. She's no longer in Appleton. She graduated college last year.
Yep, in June.
In June last year, yeah. She's actually looking to enter the workforce. I think she's going to be an actuary. Well, at least that's what she's looking at now. She wants to be a full-time nomad. Ha!
Last question.
Last question. All right. Did you ever find your trailer store in Norman, Oklahoma? That's where you're from, and just curious. No. It's never going to be found. It's never going to show up. It was.
We got an official letter from the police department that said that they were done looking for it.
Oh, the police department? You never told me that.
Yeah, that they would keep it on record.
Oh yeah, so like, the police are officially no longer looking for it. Well, I mean, they weren't actually looking for it to begin with.
Yeah.
You know,
basically the file got archived and
okay, I'm in the archives. Cool. So now our trailer is like the final scene from Raiders of the Lost Ark. No, we're never gonna find it. I don't care. It's stuff. Screw stuff. I can't stand stuff. Hey, before you go, 2 more things, everybody. First, my 6-month online class. I really encourage you to sign up. By the way, if anybody's interested, they're considering. Wait, don't go, everybody. If you all are considering my 6-month online class, everything fills. I would recommend going to scottstokely.net, sign up. Even if you do just month to month, you pay for like 1 month. If you drop out of the class before it starts, we'll just refund it to you. But at least you'll have your spot secured. It's also a fantastic gift, and it comes out in November, so it's a little early for Christmas, but it's still a fantastic gift. But if you're even thinking about it, I would go ahead and just get in for that first month at scottstokely.net. And final thing, Ching Jujus, first run Jujus, added production disc. I have a whole sleeve of them. Go to scottstokely.net and follow the link to shop to buy it. These are, go search for Ching Juju on eBay, and they are all going for between $80 and $250 on eBay, and some of those are used and not even first runs. I have first run, which is diffusion plastic, first run Jujus available I got them for $50 a piece. Like there's used non-first runs going for over $100 on eBay. But I just don't, like, I'm traveling and I'm about to leave the country. I don't have time to just sit there and put them up on eBay one at a time and then drive to the post office and ship them. So I got them for $50 a piece. If you buy some and sit on them, you can turn them and make a profit even. But I think you should buy one and put them on your wall because it's first run and they're cool. And they're hard to find first run anything. This is actually an honest to God. These were the first run of this disc that's out of production. So they're really cool, and they're only $50. scottstokely.net.
And last thing about the Discord.
Oh, Discord. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. 2 more things. Discord. Go to Scott Stokely Discord.
Yep.
And you can sign up. It's a whole. Like, if you don't know what Discord is, just go there and check it out. It's we have our own Discord server. All these different group channels to chat. It's like it's like Reddit, except we're not gonna let people be assholes on there. By the way, I love the people on Reddit. They're very, very kind to me on there. But we keep any of the negativity out. And if you're interested in my non-disc golf adventures, go to search for Scott Stokely Adventures. You'll see all the non-disc golf stuff. Oh, that's it. All right. Well, thanks everybody.
See you next Friday.
Yeah, we'll see you next Friday night.